Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this what if story and want to see part 3, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by 𝗵𝗲𝗵𝗲 on Wattpad. Now let's start. Izuku began to wake up from sleep groggily and looked around his house with a smile. Izuku. Today is gonna be a good day, he told himself as he jumped up and out of bed, changing his clothes, wearing his new wizard clothing with the fairy tale symbol on his back, and get out of his house running to the guild hall. However, on his way, he couldn't help but hear everyone talk and get out of his house running to the guild hall. However, on his way, he couldn't help but hear everyone talk. He must be from fairy tale. Guess he doesn't know yet. Poor guy, Izuku thoughts. What's up with these guys? Izuku looked forward. It was then his eyes opened wide in horror. Izuku, what happened to the guild hall? Izuku then began to run to the guild hall. Upon arrival, he finally saw the guild hall in its wrecked state. Upon arrival, he finally saw the guild hall in its wrecked state. Upon arrival, he finally saw the guild hall in its wrecked state. Izuku, but who? What happened? Izuku turning, he saw Natsu, Happy, Lucy, 𝗲𝗏, and Gray running to him. Natsu, who did this to our guild hall? Rage seethed out of Natsu's voice as Izuku, I don't know. It was Phantom. They all turned to see an upset Mira holding a paper bag of supplies. Izuku, Mira, are you alright? Izuku asked, running over to her and checking her over for any damage, but she was fine. Mira, I'm fine. Mira then guided the group down to the basement of the fairy tale guild hall, where everyone was, however, unlike usual. Everyone was quiet and hurt, not physically but emotionally. Meanwhile, the 𝗵𝗲 was sipping beer. Jet, we've never been on the best of terms with those phantom jerks, but come on Droy, think we should get them back. Levy, come on you guys, back off, don't you think we're in enough trouble already? Lucy, the drunk 𝗵𝗲 noticed the group going towards him. Yo, what's up kids? Lucy, hi 𝗲𝗏, sorry we weren't here sooner. Natsu, why the hell are you all sitting down here? How'd it go? Lucy, you finished the job like a good girl. Lucy, yeah I guess. 𝗲𝗏, do you understand the gravity of this situation? Natsu, the guild hall has been completely destroyed. Makarov, there's no need to get yourselves all worked up, it's not the end of the world or anything. Natsu, what? Makarov just continued to drink while speaking. Just comes to show how cowardly those dunderheads in the Phantom Lord Guild can be. They struck when no one was here. Is that something worth bragging about? 𝗲𝗏, what, no one was here? Mira, it was around when a few hours after I left, she said, standing next to Izuku, hiding a little behind him to seek comfort, which got Izuku angry since they scared his Mira. 𝗲𝗏, at least we should be thankful for that. Makarov, we shouldn't trouble ourselves with people who attack when no one's around. Forgotten about those fools. Natsu suddenly smashed the wall. Ain't gonna happen, Gramps. We can't just let them trash the place and get away with it. Makarov, I'm not talking about this any longer. We'll handle jobs down here till the top's repaired. Natsu, we shouldn't be worrying about jobs right now. Makarov, Natsu, that's enough out of you, he shouted, spanking Lucy. Lucy, and you spanked me because? Mira pouting, place your hands to yourself. Izuku, haha, you're adorable. Izuku said, petting the now blushing Mira. He laughed, jumping off his seat and walking away. Natsu, hey, where do you think you're going, old man? Makarov, oh, keep your dress up, I'm going to take a leak. Natsu, I don't understand why he's being so weird about this. Izuku, it's probably because you guys are all safe. I mean, think about it, this is just a building. Fairy tale, are you guys his children? So that's probably why he's not angry about this. I mean, sure, he's stressed out and pissed about it, but who wouldn't be when someone breaks your home? 𝗵𝗃𝗲, Izuku is right, but what do you mean by you guys? Don't you consider yourself part of the guild too? You, yeah, Izuku, what do you mean you guys? Mira, Izuku, no, I don't think myself part of this guild. After all, this isn't my world. Lucy, is this about what happened on the island? Izuku, no, nothing with that. I mean, all of you have so much history together, being with each other and all, but me, I have none of that. I'm always alone if I'm not in the guild, and let's face it, I'm basically an outcast, someone who never deserved to be her. Slap. 𝗲𝗏 slapped Izuku, shocking everyone and him. 𝗲𝗏, shut up, you're part of this guild whether you like it or not. We are your family and this is your new world. Do you hear me? Izuku, 𝗲𝗏, do you hear me? Izuku, Midoriya. Izuku, yes ma'am, I'm sorry. 𝗲𝗏, good. Everyone was smiling at that. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, Mira/you, cool, so can you let Izuku go now? 𝗏𝗏, realizing that she was holding Izuku by his collar and his face was at least 5 inches from hers, blushed and released him quickly, causing the entire guild to laugh. Makarov, Okay everyone, tonight I want at least you all to sleep in the same room with at least 2 guild members, is that understood guild? Yes, 𝗵𝗲𝗶𝗃𝗏. I call Izuku girls, not 𝗧𝗏 for now. New brought to you by Happy Going a Bing Bang Boom like Elvis Presley. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 and Izuku are both in the kitchen cooking some fried rice and chicken, honey chicken and some steak. They both loved meat. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 and Izuku are both in the kitchen cooking some fried rice and chicken, honey chicken and some steak. They both loved meat. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 and Izuku were both joking around, laughing and playing around as they cooked. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 and Izuku were both joking around, laughing and playing around as they cooked. 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Hey Aizu Izuku. Yeah, basis 1. Izuku turned to 𝗵𝗃𝗏 when she poked his nose, putting some flour on it, making it seem white, giggling as he tried to see it. Izuku. Oh ho, let's go then. Izuku put his hand into the flour bag beside him, pulling out a white hand. 𝗵𝗃𝗏. No, and Izuku put it on her face, making a white handprint on her forehead to her lips. Izuku. Ha 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Why you? She put her hand in her flour bag and he did the same, and they began to throw and play with the flour until they were completely white. 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Ah whoa, she tripped on from the bag of flour on the floor and fell on Izuku, who fell to the ground as well. Their faces were cm away from each other, blush on both their faces. Izuku couldn't help but be mesmerized by her appealing eyes. Meanwhile her attention was drawn to his lips. Both moved forward slowly, their lips parting as they neared each other. Face 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Whispers Izuku. Izuku. Whisper 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Scene change. It's dark and 2 people are in one room. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 is completely naked, lying on the bed. She is facing Izuku, who is naked on top of her. Both never looked away from the other eyes. Izuku. Whisper, I'm gonna put it in. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 simply nodded when he did it. Pain coursed through her as Izuku's hands slowly guided down her arms and intertwined with her hands while he moved forward and backward. 2 times skip 2 hours 6. Both were covered with sweat as Izuku sped up. A green glowed from her neck where he marked her. She could feel her magic strengthen and the pleasure increase. It was then they both came for the last time and stopped to sleep, embracing the other. The next day in Magnolia Southgate Park, brought to you by a Happy, blushing and looking at the two with wide white eyes. A massive group of people is all standing in front of the massive tree in the arc, each one gasping with looks of horror when Izuku, 𝗧𝗏𝗏, 𝗧𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 began to walk through them. 𝗧𝗏. Excuse us please, were from their guild, and what they saw when they reached the front of the group pushed them to the absolute limit of their rage, and what they saw when they reached the front of the group pushed them to the absolute limit of their rage. Lucy, Happy, 𝗧𝗏, 𝗧𝗏. Gasp Izuku/𝗏𝗏𝗏. Izuku/𝗏𝗏𝗏. Man 1. Why are they still up there? Man 1. Why are they still up there? Everyone. Whispering. Man 2. Somebody gets them down already. Man 3. What do you see that mark on her? Man 4. We better not get involved. Izuku, 𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗧𝗏, Jet, 𝗧𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Izuku were shaking in rage. 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Phantom Lord did those, however. When Makarov came, the group began to split in half, only to reveal the Star walking through them as they murmured, stopping in the front of the group. Makarov's rage had reached the crossing point. 𝗧𝗏. Answer Makarov. I can handle our guild hall being reduced to ruble. Makarov. But I will not let harm come to my children without taking revenge, he shouted, shattering his staff, scaring Lucy. Makarov. We have no choice but to go to war. For in Magnolia Hospital Izuku can be seen seated beside 𝗏𝗏𝗏, who is patched up along with Jet and 𝗧𝗏, each lying under blankets. Izuku. I'm sorry Jet, 𝗧𝗏, but most of all 𝗏𝗏𝗏, while you were getting hurt I was goddamn it. Izuku shouted, punching the wall using no magic at all, shattering it but bleeding. Flashback. Izuku is sitting in front of Mira at the bar trying to read a flyer but couldn't. Izuku. Hey Mira, how do you read this? Mira. Oh well, this says help needed at Clover Mountains. A wild wyvern is destroying villages for 90,000 jewels. Izuku. Oh, I knew that. Mira. You need help, don't you? Izuku. Desperately. A depressed aura surrounded the anime, crying chibi. Izuku. Mira. Oh, I know, in the library. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 should be there since she is the only one who likes to read. I'm sure she can teach you. Izuku. Thank you, Mira. Izuku said, hugging her with anime tears in chibi form and then running all the way to the library as she giggled. When Izuku entered the library, he found a girl wearing a blue vest, yellow BR, white shorts, brown belt, brown sandals, and a yellow bow with brown dots in her appealing blue hair. When Izuku entered the library, he found a girl wearing a blue vest, yellow BR, white shorts, brown belt, brown sandals, and a yellow bow with brown dots in her appealing blue hair, sitting on a table with a mountain of books, reading with red glasses, reading page to page in seconds. Izuku. Excuse me. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 ignored him. Izuku. Excuse me, Izuku said, tapping her shoulder when she turned to him. 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Oh sorry, wait, you're the new member. Izuku. How can I help you? Izuku. I'm new to this world and I don't know how to read and write, so I was wondering if you could teach me 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Oh sure, and with that, the two began to work together and find out new things about each other, like Izuku's love for reading and 𝗬𝗲𝗄's love of magic enchantments. It wasn't long before they became the best of friends. Flashback and Izuku, I will make them pay, I swear it. 𝗬𝗲𝗄's bangs covered his face as he stood up and walked out in Oak Town within the Phantom Lord Guild Hall. Everyone is laughing at what 𝐔𝐬𝐽 had done to the fairy tale members, while a single team was heading out to do the same, that is till they reached the door, which exploded, sending them flying and smashing into the sign on the second floor. Emerging from the smoke of the explosion was a pissed-off Natsu in front of a pissed-off fairy tale. Makarov, fairy tale has come calling Phantom Lord Guild. Izuku, Dai 2 Phantom Lord, 𝐒𝐻. Another group of the Phantom Lord Guild attacked Natsu, who sent them all flying with fire. Natsu, alright, who wants to play with fire? Fairy tale, let's get them. The entire guild went into an all-out attack, slashing and sending the Phantom Lord members flying. Mikao and Wakaba using the purple net and smoke punches, 𝐬𝐽𝐽 using his spark shot, 𝗵𝘃𝗲 with her homing shot, and Makarov growing into a giant, smashing them into the ground. Makarov, you dare to believe that you could lay your filthy hands on this monster's children and get away with it? The entire guild was made of monsters, destroying the evil guild. Makarov, where is Jose? Izuku, tell me, where is 𝗕𝗏𝗀 and the element 4? Meanwhile, above them all stood 𝗕𝗏𝗀, smiling at them. 𝗕𝗏𝗀, looks like 𝗓𝗂𝗧 and 𝗵𝘃𝗀 were too scared to play. Not that I care. Jose knew exactly how this would go down, but for some, they seem like decent fighters. 𝗕𝗏𝗀, looks like 𝗓𝗂𝗧 and 𝗵𝘃𝗀 were too scared to play. Not that I care. Jose knew exactly how this would go down, but for some, they seem like decent fighters. The guild tried to resist fairy tale using fire magic, only to find out Natsu could eat fire. Izuku, Detroit Smash. Izuku, Detroit Smash. Phantom Lord, 𝗕𝗏𝗀. Makarov, 𝗧𝗏, I leave the rest to you. 𝗧𝗏, yes, 𝗵𝗲. And with that, the old man left. That was when 𝗕𝗏𝗀 jumped into the action. Man 1. Who's that man 2? That's gotta be 𝗧𝗏. Black Steel. 𝗕𝗏𝗀. Man 3. You attacked 𝗬𝗲𝗄. The man ran at 𝗕𝗏𝗀 only to have a metal club smash into his face, sending him flying. But also 𝗕𝗏𝗀's own guildmates. 𝗕𝗏𝗀, show me what you got, unless you too scared to face the Iron Dragon Slayer. 𝗏𝗲𝗄, too scared. Real man has no fear, he shouted, charging 𝗕𝗏𝗀, turning his fist into a stone golem's arm, punching 𝗕𝗏𝗀, who blocked and attacked with his own iron club foot. 𝗕𝗏𝗀, you're strong, 𝗏𝗲𝗄, 'cause I'm a real man. 𝗕𝗏𝗀, oh really? Check this out. 𝗕𝗏𝗀 fired several poles from his metal club foot, attacking his own guild, distracting 𝗏𝗲𝗄, only for 𝗕𝗏𝗀 to send him flying. However, before 𝗏𝗲𝗄 could hit the ground, Izuku caught him. Izuku, leave him to me. 𝗏𝗲𝗄, right? Izuku, 𝗕𝗏𝗀, oh what can you do, fairy kin? However, before he could finish, Izuku sent him flying through the wooden bar. To Izuku, it's nice to see that you know me, but Izuku, it won't stop me from tearing you limb from limb. Izuku, it won't stop me from tearing you limb from limb. 𝗕𝗏𝗀, really? Iron Dragon Club, only for Izuku to catch it with one hand. Izuku, you attacked Droy and Jet, but more than anything you hurt 𝗬𝗲𝗄. You destroyed our guild hall. I'll make you pay. Izuku threw him to the roof, only for 𝗕𝗏𝗀 to land and jump back at him. Izuku, St. Louis Smash. Izuku, St. Louis Smash, sending 𝗕𝗏𝗀 flying into a wall. Izuku began to slowly walk towards him. Man 1. 𝗕𝗏𝗀 was sent flying. Man 2. No one did that before. Izuku, I'll make you feel every bit of my hatred. Izuku began to walk towards 𝗕𝗏𝗀 with an aura that only described death, with his eyes temporarily turning red. Izuku began to walk towards 𝗕𝗏𝗀 with an aura that only described death, with his eyes temporarily turning red. 𝗕𝗏𝗀 could only feel one thing from Izuku: pure, unadulterated rage. Izuku, you thought you could attack my best friend and escape my wrath? That was when Makarov crashed into the ground. Izuku and the rest of the fairy tale ran to Makarov while 𝗕𝗏𝗀 jumped away. As they checked on the old man, Phantom Lord decided to take advantage and go to attack them. However, the fairy tailers held on. One guy sneak attacked Kana Wakaba. Kana, 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝐻. However, the explosion was blocked by Izuku holding a shield. Izuku, you okay? Kana nodded with a small blush as he helped her out. Izuku, we need to leave. Come on, fairy tailor 1. What? No, we can. Izuku, I said now. The entire guild followed Izuku and ran out carrying them. Was 𝗏𝗲𝗄. The entire guild rested in the basement of the once standing fairy tale guild hall. Makarov was placed with his old friend 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗄, Lucy told everyone about why the Phantom Lord Guild was after her and Izuku. He was busy having a bath in the male bathrooms, meanwhile 𝗧𝗏 was having a bath in the female bathrooms. Mira had begged Laxus to help the guild in their fight, meanwhile Kana was searching all over for Mystigan with Izuku. Izuku's hair was down and covering his eyes while the back of his hair reached the bottom of his neck. Izuku thoughts. Damn it, he punched the wall as the water dripped down from his fists. Izuku thoughts. Why am I so weak? Why can't I protect the ones I love? Why can't I protect anyone? Am I so useless that I can't do anything even with the power of heroes from different universes? Izuku looked up. Why did you bring me here, Grandpa? Izuku thought with tears in his eyes. Izuku. I can't even access my true power, the full body overtaker. I'm nothing, I'm no hero, not even close. Flashback. Izuku's grandpa. Listen here, my boy, there will be a time where you're faced with a challenge that you can't defeat, a time where all hope is lost and everything you love is taken away from you. Izuku. Really, Grandpa? Izuku's grandpa. Yes, but at that moment a power will emerge from within you, a power to save the ones you love, the power to change the world. Izuku, this power is in your emotions. Find it and set it free. After all, that is why you will become the greatest hero of them all. Izuku, I will unlock that power, Gramps, I swear. Flashback. And Izuku, I'm lost without you, Grandpa, help me please. Izuku pleaded, pushing his head against the wall of the shower, clenching his fist. Boom, rumble, rumble. The entire guild ran outside to see the Phantom Lord headquarters with ginormous iron legs walking towards them and stopping when it reached the center of the lake. The entire guild ran outside to see the Phantom Lord headquarters with ginormous iron legs walking towards them and stopping when it reached the center of the lake. Natsu, what is that thing? Happy, it's a guild hall with ginormous legs. Look. Is it Phantom? Some members of Fairy Tail whimpered in fear. Wakaba, how do we fight that thing? 𝗧𝗏, I never anticipated this. Why to go to such extremes to attack us? Mira was trembling with a hand over her mouth, and so was Lucy. Jose, engage the Jupiter cannon. The Phantom Lord mages began to charge the massive cannon Jupiter with magic, about to fire at the guild when 𝗧𝗏 charged forward. Mira, 𝗕 don't be stupid. Izuku, don't do it. 𝗧𝗏 required her adamantium armor. 𝗧𝗏 required her adamantium armor. Kana, she required. Loke, what are you doing? 𝗧𝗏, protecting the guild hall. Happy, that's her adamantium armor. Biska, is she trying to block it? Alzak, but there's no way her armor's gonna hold up against a blast that's strong. Wakaba, you're just risking your life. Don't be ridiculous. 𝗧𝗏, stay back. Natsu. The guild looked at her in horror. Gray, you're not gonna be able to stop her. You gotta have faith in her. The cannon fired at 𝗧𝗏, who activated her shield to block it. The cannon fired at 𝗧𝗏, who activated her shield to block it. Her armor began to shatter slowly. Natsu, Eno. The guild all covered her heads from the light of the cannon, all afraid for their friend. Meanwhile Izuku could only stare and feel useless. That's when a voice came to his head. This Jose is a scumbag, and this girl, you feel for her, right? Izuku, who are you? That doesn't matter. How I see you as worthy. I'll give you the ability to use one for all at full power for 10 seconds to protect your friends. No go. Izuku, one for all. 1000%. Purple grew on Izuku's arms and his hair went Vegeta style. Purple grew on Izuku's arms and his hair went Vegeta style. Now call out it out. Izuku, low voice. Shield of the night. And with that, the shield dispersed, turning into dust as Izuku's form vanished and 𝗧𝗏 alongside him fell to the ground. And with that, the shield dispersed, turning into dust as Izuku's form vanished and 𝗧𝗏 alongside him fell to the ground. Natsu, Mira, Izuku, the two ran and checked up on both as Jose spoke with glee over the speaker. Jose, Makarov has fallen and your precious 𝗧𝗏, as well as the hero King Izuku, have both been taken down. Any chance of victory has slipped from your fingers. Hand over Lucy Heartfilia and surrender Alzak. That's not gonna happen. Biska, yeah, like any guild would hand over one of their own to a monster like you. Macau, yeah, you hear that? Lucy's staying put. Jose was getting pissed off. I won't ask again. The entire Fairy Tail guild, however, refused and kept shouting it to him while Lucy cried. Lucy thoughts, maybe I should just go with them, give myself up. 𝗧𝗏, we would never betray her like that. You'd have to kill us first. Lucy, gasped Fairy Tail. Yeah. Izuku, you're nothing but some bag. Lucy belongs here with us. We'll never let you take her even if we have to die. Do so. Fairy Tail, yeah. Natsu, you can stop asking now cause you're gonna get the same answer. We're taking every one of you jerks down. The crowd supported Izuku, 𝗧𝗏, Natsu while Lucy cried in the background from happiness. Meanwhile Jose got pissed beyond relief. Jose, If death is what you want, then I'll give you a second helping of Jupiter. You've got 15 minutes to ponder the folly of your actions, 𝗵𝗲. No way, Kana. What do we do, Loke? They're gonna fire at us again. 𝗧𝗏 tried to get up and so did Izuku, but both fell to the ground. Mira. Izuku. 𝗧𝗏 gray. Oh no, they're out there, the only reason we're still standing. After the first shot, Izuku, not yet shocking everyone. Izuku was clutching his fist with an angry look on his face. Pushing himself, he stood up. Izuku. I won't stop until Phantom Lords defeated. Phantom Lords suddenly sent phantom troops at Fairy Tail and also threatening them with the Jupiter cannon. Natsu then decided he would destroy the cannon and flew with happy. Izuku. Mira, take care of Lucy. You're take care of 𝗧𝗏. Kana, I leave command here to you. Gray. 𝗵𝗲, come with me. Gray. 𝗵𝗲. Mira/you are/ Kana. Right. Gray built an ice ramp for both Izuku, 𝗵𝗲, and Gray to get up there. Izuku/Gray and 𝗵𝗲 felt an earthquake and saw a flame that looked awfully like Natsu's, and they ran to him only to find a phantom mage about to attack him when the giant guild began to turn into a giant robot. Izuku/Gray and 𝗵𝗲 felt an earthquake and saw a flame that looked awfully like Natsu's, and they ran to him only to find a phantom mage about to attack him when the giant guild began to turn into a giant robot, causing Natsu to get sick and fall to the ground. However, before the Phantom Guild member could do anything, Izuku swept the guy's leg, Gray froze him, and 𝗵𝗲 punched him so hard he sent the guy flying. Natsu. Thanks guys, happy. You three are so cool, you showed that phantom goon who's boss. Gray. What's your deal? Natsu. That was just sad, 𝗵𝗲. If you were a real man, you'd make the giant motion sick of you. Izuku. Now you too. Natsu destroyed the cannon. Good work, Natsu. High five Izuku both. With smiles on their faces. Natsu. It must have stopped moving cause I'm feeling better now. Happy. I am gonna go see what's going on. The giant stopped moving, however its arm was creating a magic circle of an abyss break so big it would destroy the whole town. Happy. We're doomed. Natsu. What do? We got to stop them. Gray. I guess we should split up and start looking for the power source of this thing, right 𝗵𝗲? Man, are we ever gonna catch a break? Izuku. Okay 𝗵𝗲, you go left wing. Natsu, Gray, and Happy, you guys up and I will go to the right wing. Gray/Natsu. I got to work with him. Izuku. Yes, now go. Izuku said with a glare, scaring the two and causing them to run. Izuku. 𝗵𝗲, be careful. 𝗵𝗲. You too, big bro. I mean Izuku. Izuku. What did you say? 𝗵𝗲. Nothing. By Izuku walked the other way but stopped. Hey 𝗵𝗲. 𝗵𝗲 turned to see Izuku with a smile. Stay safe, little bro. And with that Izuku disappeared while 𝗵𝗲 smiled. Right? He shouted, going as well. With Izuku poked his head out of a window only to see rain. Izuku. That's weird. When did it start raining? Drip, drip, drop. Izuku turned to see a woman in a blue dress with brown stockings and a Russian hat walking towards him holding a pink umbrella. Izuku turned to see a woman in a blue dress with brown stockings and a Russian hat walking towards him holding a pink umbrella. Hello, my name is Juvia and I am the rain woman of the element 4. Drip, drip, drop. Izuku. So I take it you're one of them, then bring it on. Juvia. I must say I'm impressed your guild managed to take down 2 of the elements, however you must not underestimate the remaining 2. Izuku's face was emotionless but also pissed. His eyes were simply dark green outlining black. Izuku. Listen, Miss Juvia, I won't hold back. Just because you're a chick. They never blinked, not once, and then a blush formed on Juvia's face as she began to walk away. Juvia. Well then, I give up, you win. Goodbye. Izuku. Where you going? Come back and tell me howdy. Oh, stop the giant, Izuku screamed, running after her. Juvia. I have the strong urge to make him mine. That's it, I can't help myself anymore. Waterlock. Juvia. I have the strong urge to make him mine. That's it, I can't help myself anymore. Waterlock. Izuku. Juvia finally noticed Izuku's bruise and started freaking out. Juvia. Oh no, I didn't know about his wound. What do? I guess I should probably release him. Izuku. 1 for all 20%. Izuku spun in the water as his lightning formed a single tornado bursting the bubble. Izuku. Izuku burst out of the water and landed on the ground. Juvia. He must have lightning magic, it's so appealing. Water and his lightning were too far apart but so close together like thunder. This must be fate. I can't believe I found my handsome prince. Izuku. You almost got me with that sneak attack. You're playing dirty. Izuku said as he pushed his hair up from over his left eye, and then he began removing his shirt, causing Juvia's heart to beat harder. Juvia's thoughts. He's taking off his clothes, but we've only just met. Can't we take things slowly? Izuku. I really don't want to hurt you. Juvia. However, I will if I have to, so I ask you to surrender cause this'll hurt. Smash. Izuku. I really don't want to hurt you. Juvia. However, I will if I have to, so I ask you to surrender cause this'll hurt. Smash. However, the air pressure went through her shocking 𝗧𝗂𝗫𝐵. My body is made of water drip drop. Yes, I mustn't forget my love is my enemy, so I have no choice but to attack. It seems this is farewell my prince water slicer. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. My body is made of water drip drop. Yes, I mustn't forget my love is my enemy, so I have no choice but to attack. It seems this is farewell my prince water slicer. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. Given the proper force, water is strong enough to cut through. Still take it for granted and you'll find yourself in a world of hurt. Izuku. 𝗧𝗏% Detroit smash. Izuku. 𝗧𝗏% Detroit smash. The massive amount of air pressure thankfully pushed 𝗔𝗂𝗫 back, smashing her into the building behind, but she ended up coming back uninjured. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. Can't you see you're wasting your time? All your attacks go through me. Drip drip drop. Izuku. Now what do I do? 𝗔𝗂𝗫. There is no way for you to win, so just hand over 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗺 and I'll ask 𝐼𝐴 to spare your guild. Izuku. Oh come on, don't give me that. You and I both know we're past the point of no return, and besides Lucy's one of us. I'd rather give my life than hand her over to you. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 dropped her umbrella. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 mind. He'd give his life for her. He'd give his life for her. Give his life. Lucis my rival. Lucis my rival. He loves her. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. The pain. Why fate must you be so cruel? Izuku. Hey, you okay? What's wrong? 𝗔𝗂𝗫. She's not worthy of my prince. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗺𝗺 cannot be allowed to live to 𝗔𝗂𝗫. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗺𝗺 cannot be allowed to live. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 fired boiling water after boiling water at Izuku, who tried to dodge but it kept hitting him. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 fired boiling water after boiling water at Izuku, who tried to dodge but it kept hitting him, so he decided to end it all there. Izuku. Forgive me. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. Izuku. One for all 100% Texas smash. Izuku. One for all 100% Texas smash. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. 𝗂𝗫 was sent flying through 10 roofs and then down the guild hall, completely wounded and covered with scratches. She had given up and let herself fall, but Izuku didn't. He jumped down after the girl and grabbed her hand, holding onto the roof. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. Why are you helping me? Tell me. I'm all alone. I have no one. What's the point of living? Izuku. Then live for me. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. Gasp Izuku. I won't leave you when you need me. Beside, I love the rain. It's so appealing, and so are you. Why would I let you die when I could save you? 𝗔𝗂𝗫. Do you mean it? Izuku. Of course, so please don't die. Not like them. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 felt a drop of water hit her head. Noticing it was warm, she looked up only to see Izuku crying. Izuku. I can't see another person die. Not again. Izuku pulled her up and laid her down on the rood. He sat beside her and petted her head. Izuku. Rest up. 𝗔𝗂𝗫. You'll need it. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 lost it and fainted in happiness. 𝗔𝗂𝗫 lost it and fainted in happiness. Uff man. Izuku knew that voice. Izuku. Mira. Getting up, Izuku immediately dashed all the way to Mira. Seeing her stuck between the fingers of the robot and the giant monster in front of her, Izuku charged forward to protect her. Once Izuku got in front of Mira, he pushed the fingers apart and hugged her. Izuku. What were you thinking? Crying Mira. Sniff. Izuku. Please sniff. Help 𝗵𝗲𝗻. Izuku. Where is he? Mira pointed at the monster. Izuku. Okay Mira, I will do it for you and 𝗵𝗲𝗻. Izuku. Okay Mira, I will do it for you and 𝗵𝗲𝗻. Izuku held Mira bridal style and jumped inside the giant robot. He then placed her on a rock and walked towards the monster. Izuku. Hey 𝗵𝗲𝗻, over here. The monster turned to see Izuku and charged at him. At full speed. Izuku. That's enough 𝗵𝗲𝗻. Izuku's smash sent the massive monster flying to the end of the hallway where it crashed into the wall, shocking Mira. Izuku's smash sent the massive monster flying to the end of the hallway where it crashed into the wall, shocking Mira. Izuku then sighed, releasing a breath of air. However, due to the amount of power his body was giving off at 100%, the air came out like Shoto's cool air. 𝗵𝗻𝗻's monster body began to crack until it completely broke, causing 𝗵𝗻𝗻's human body to fall onto the ground. Izuku. Are you alright 𝗵𝗻𝗻? Izuku said as he let go of his 100% and hid his internally bleeding hand when Mira ran to the two. Mira. Are you alright 𝗵𝗻𝗻? 𝗵𝗻𝗻. Mira. I'm sorry, I tried to control it to protect you but I couldn't do it and I nearly killed Izuku. Mira. 𝗵𝗻𝗻. But what could I do? I was scared. I just wanted to. Izuku brought 𝗵𝗻𝗻 and Mira into a hug, earning gasps from the two. It's okay, it's all okay now. Mira and 𝗵𝗻𝗻 had tears in their eyes. Izuku. Let me take that burden and hold it with you. Share your tears with me, cause I'm always there when you need me to be. I promise to cry. Come on, go ahead. The two gripped Izuku's shirt tightly and cried into him. What comes next? What will happen? Oh man, I can't wait. After Mira and 𝗵𝗻𝗻 settled down, Izuku guided them up the giant to where 𝐒𝐭𝐲 should be on their way. Mira discussed Element 4 of the Phantom Lord and how Arya of the Wind was the strongest and that they should defeat him before he opens his eyes, so speeding up until they passed hall to hall when the building started to shake. Izuku. What's going on, 𝗵𝗲𝗄? It's probably 𝗬𝗏. He must have defeated the last one, Mira. Yes. We did it. We stopped the abyss break spell from being cast. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, 'cause we're awesome. Izuku, you know it. Mira, all the members of the Element 4 have been defeated. The entire guild began to celebrate their victory, that is till 𝐭𝐳 decided to share something with everyone. 𝐭𝐳, attention all fairy tailors. Izuku, what's going on, 𝐭𝐳? 'Cause I'll only say this once. Suddenly a scream was heard over the mic. Izuku, that scream, Mira. It can't be 𝗵𝗲𝗄. It's Lucy, Mira. But how did he find her? Izuku snarled in anger. 𝗭𝗳. And that's our first objective complete. Now the final thing, my favorite, wiping all you miserable brats off the face of the earth. Izuku, that's BSD. Come on, we need to find Natsu and Gray. The other two nodded and ran behind Izuku. When they reached a room and found 𝗧𝗏 lying against a pillar, Gray on the floor asleep with Arya a few meters away. Mira, 𝗧𝗏, Izuku, Gray, are you alright? The two looked at the group in shock. 𝗧𝗏, it's you, Izuku. Looks like something big went down here. 𝗧𝗏, it's you, Izuku. You're injured. How many times do I have to tell you? Izuku walked to her and crouched in front of 𝗧𝗏, placing his hand on her head and petting it. Izuku, you don't need to fight alone because we're all here for you, 𝗧𝗏, and we always will be. 𝗧𝗏 looked at Izuku in shock. Never once has anyone asked to help her, to be with her always, to never leave her, since she was always the strongest. She was always needed. Never once did she need someone or asked if she did. 𝗧𝗏, okay, Izuku, thank you, she said with a smile, causing the others to smile back at her as well, and then suddenly a feeling of dread coursed through everyone. Gray, what the? Mira, what is it? 𝗧𝗏, I sense death. Izuku, I can't even stand still. Izuku said, shaking from the disgusting feeling. Gray, I don't like this feeling. 𝗵𝗲𝗄, ugh, I'm super manly and I'm still getting the chills. Mira, whatever it is, it's pure evil. Clap, clap, cap, clap. 𝗭𝗳, bravo, you are all quite keen. Very impressive, fairy tale wizards. I knew this would be fun, but never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be this entertaining. You disposed of the Jupiter cannon, defeated my Element 4, and you even managed to bring my giant to its knees. 𝗭𝗳, bravo, you are all quite keen. Very impressive, fairy tale wizards. I knew this would be fun, but never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be this entertaining. You disposed of the Jupiter cannon, defeated my Element 4, and you even managed. 𝗧𝗏, our 𝗭𝗳, 𝗵𝗲𝗄, this creeps the leader of the Phantom Lords Guild. Mira, it's like there's a black cloud hanging over him. It's making me feel sick. 𝗭𝗳, thank you, you've been so kind to entertain me. I simply must return the favor. Gray, you ready? 𝗵𝗲𝗄, you bet. 𝗭𝗳, I'll return it in full. Gray and 𝗵𝗲𝗄 charged at 𝗭𝗳, jumping into the air about to attack when 𝗧𝗏, and oh, don't do it. 𝗭𝗳, how absurd. Mira, 𝗵𝗲𝗄, Gray, Mira, 𝗵𝗲𝗄, Gray. Mira turned to 𝗭𝗳 with a snarl as he swiped his hand, causing an explosion. Mira turned to 𝗭𝗳 with a snarl as he swiped his hand, causing an explosion. However, Izuku took the blast, protecting the girls, but considerable damage was still done to them. Izuku, 𝗧𝗏 charged forward, drawing out her sword, but 𝗭𝗳 sent a tornado of darkness at her, causing explosions. However, she slashed through them and to 𝗭𝗳, jumping into the air and requiring into her black wing armor. 𝗧𝗏 charged forward, drawing out her sword, but 𝗭𝗳 sent a tornado of darkness at her, causing explosions. However, she slashed through them and to 𝗭𝗳, jumping into the air and requiring into her black wing armor. 𝗧𝗏, hiya, she screamed, slashing down from then jump only for 𝗭𝗳 to jump back, dodging the slash, but 𝗧𝗏 went again for a vertical slash to the head, only for 𝗭𝗳 to grab her wrist and crack a smile on his face as she gasped when 𝗭𝗳 spun her around and threw her away, but 𝗧𝗏 backflipped, landing on her feet. A silhouette of a man appeared behind 𝗭𝗳, smashing down into the ground when 𝗭𝗳 vanished, and it was Izuku in his 20% full cowling, lifting his hand from the ground. Izuku got kicked by 𝗭𝗳, who appeared at Izuku's side and smashed his leg into the boy's chest, sending him flying towards 𝗧𝗏, but using his fingers and stabbing them into the ground. Izuku slowed down. 𝗭𝗳, fascinating, you two took a shot from Jupiter at full force, did you not? And yet you're still standing. 𝗧𝗏/Izuku, it's because of our friends. 𝗧𝗏, we will withstand any physical pain to protect the ones that we love. 𝗭𝗳 got a mad grin on his face. How amusing, powerful, courageous, and exquisitely appealing, alongside a strong, compassionate, kind young hero. Destroying you two will bring me unbelievable pleasure. Suddenly the entire guild began to shatter and pieces fell from the roof near the three. 𝗭𝗳, my, what an unruly dragon you have. Izuku, in 𝗧𝗵𝗃. be unruly, but he's also an extremely powerful wizard. In fact, I'd say he's just as strong as I am, actually maybe even stronger. Izuku and 𝗓𝗧 smiled at each other as they readied their weapon and fist 𝗧𝗧. There is no need to be so modest, Draco. Izuku and Titania. 𝗓𝗧, both your magics are as spectacular as the salamanders, if not more so. You two are the first wizards able to last this long against me in battle. Truth be told, we three would be more equally matched in power if you two didn't stop my Jupiter cannon. You know what really irks me about Fairy Tail? The fact that there are so many powerful wizards in there like yourselves who are aligned with Makarov. Flicking his finger, an invisible force sent 𝗓𝗧 smashing into the wall. Izuku 𝗓𝗧 teleported in front of Midoriya, smashing his fist into the boy's gut, sending him to the roof and crashing back down onto the ground. 𝗧𝗧, since you two can't be tempted to join Phantom, there's only one way to change that, he said before firing purple bullets from his fingers at Izuku and 𝗓𝗧, causing explosions as they both jumped high into the air to dodge. 𝗧𝗧, kill you. He then began to fire more and more beams at the two, who continued to dodge his blasts. 𝗧𝗧, that'll send the old coot into deep despair, and from there I will come and kill him. Izuku, shut up. Izuku came down, smashing his fist where 𝗧𝗧 was, but disappeared and reappeared behind them. 𝗧𝗧, for as long as I can remember, the Phantom Lord Guild has always been at the top. We have the strongest wizards with the strongest spells and more members than any other guild. However, recently Fairy Tail has been rising through the ranks, and our position as leaders is in jeopardy. Stories about 𝗓𝗧, Laxus, Mystigan, and Izuku spread throughout the kingdom, and stories like the Hero King spread like wildfire. Now Phantom Lord and Fairy Tail are considered on par with each other, the top two guilds representing the kingdom. The thought disgusts me. I refuse to be acquainted with such a feeble guild. Then 𝗓𝗧 attacked. Silence, she screamed as she attacked him, only for 𝗧𝗧 to appear and vanish again. Izuku, so we're fighting for our lives because of your jealousy. 𝗧𝗧, jealousy? Ha, that's absurd. We simply wanted to prove to the kingdom that we are the Dignity Guild. 𝗓𝗧, how could you, and for such a petty reason? Both she and Izuku jumped and began slashing and punching him, both perfectly in sync. Meanwhile, 𝗧𝗧 used his speed to appear and vanish again and again, dodging their attacks. Izuku, hiya. 𝗧𝗧, hiya. Suddenly Izuku saw an opening and sent a mighty punch at him, but it missed. However, the air pressure from it ended up cutting the beater's chest and letting his 𝐕 spew out on Izuku's face, pissing off the guild member, who sent ghost-like creatures out of his arm and wrapped them around the two. Suddenly Izuku saw an opening and sent a mighty punch at him, but it missed. However, the air pressure from it ended up cutting the beater's chest and letting his 𝐕 spew out on Izuku's face, pissing off the guild member, who sent ghost-like creature, and when it tightened, Izuku and 𝗓𝗧 were electrified. Izuku/𝗓𝗧, 𝗓𝗓, you little green-haired b. He sent his most powerful voltage at Izuku, who screamed in complete agony. 𝗧𝗧, haha, what was it you promised to protect and help them? Really well, don't make promises you can't keep now. 𝗓𝗧, Izuku knew. Izuku, 𝗓𝗧, she could only look at him with tears as he smiled his signature smiled, and then they were both covered by the red lightning. As the lightning vanished, Izuku was completely fried and still smoking. Then 𝗧𝗧 dropped him onto the ground while 𝗓𝗧 cried, 𝗓𝗧, I'll kill you, you biggie. She screamed, struggling to free herself only to be electrocuted as well. 𝗧𝗧, how do you seriously think this was all for some man who offered us money for his daughter? Oh no, this was to get revenge for all the times people saw us as equals. I will make you all pay, but slowly. First I will slaughter all the males of your guild, and then 𝗓𝗧, all this for that, all because you're jealous. 𝗧𝗧, no, and it's not my fault, so don't been try it. Little girl crack. The two turned only to see Izuku standing behind them, and then he reappeared in front of 𝗧𝗧, catching him before he could move to shock them. Was the green lightning pulsing around Izuku. 𝗧𝗧, how? Izuku, got you now. There is nowhere to go. 𝗧𝗧 won. 𝗧𝗧, really? And what are you gonna do to me with your puny, weak arms? Izuku, it's not about whether or not I can do it. The entire Fairy Tail were watching Izuku and 𝗧𝗧 fight because he was broadcasting their torture, and as Izuku spoke, everyone began to listen. Izuku, it's a hero's job to risk their life to make their promises into a reality. 𝗧𝗧, what? Izuku, one for all 100%. 𝗧𝗧, wait, there's something different about him. Izuku, 𝗓𝗧 was sent through the entire guild and into the water, causing a massive wave to surround the Entire guild shocking everyone. 𝐒𝐽𝐽 was sent through the entire guild and into the water, causing a massive wave to surround the entire guild, shocking everyone. As the smoke cleared, everyone could see 𝗧𝗏 and 𝗵𝗲 awake, simply staring at Izuku. 𝗧𝗏. Izuku, thank God you're okay. She then noticed his arm. Your arm, Izuku. It's alright, I'm just glad you're alright, he said with a smile. Suddenly something crashed from the sky with ghost-like monsters surrounding it. Izuku, there's no way standing there. Was 𝗳𝗁 with a massive smirk and black eyes staring at Izuku, who could barely move. Standing there was 𝗳𝗁 with a massive smirk and black eyes staring at Izuku, who could barely move. 𝗳𝗁, I must admit, brat, you have the power. You even made me go serious, so as a reward I'll make you wish for death. Dead wave. 𝗳𝗁, I must admit, brat, you have the power. You even made me go serious, so as a reward I'll make you wish for death. Dead wave. Izuku. As the smoke cleared, everyone went wide-eye in horror. Izuku was laying on a wall with a piece of metal impaling his side. 𝗳𝗁, Izuku could be seen lying on the floor as 𝗳𝗁 began to beat him up and use all sorts of spells on him. 𝗧𝗏, stop 𝗵𝗲, leave him alone. 𝗵𝗃, get away from 𝐿. 𝗳𝗁, aha, can you hear them, little hero? Each one cares about you, but they all are too afraid to touch me. Now then, be a good boy and scream for me, would you? 𝗳𝗁, aha, can you hear them, little hero? Each one cares about you, but they all are too afraid to touch me. Now then, be a good boy and scream for me, would you? Izuku. Izuku laid there on the ground looking at 𝗧𝗏 and 𝗳𝗁, who was laughing with complete glee. 𝗳𝗁, you are nothing, you will always be nothing, and that will never change. Izuku didn't move, he wasn't there anymore. 𝗧𝗏, Izuku, don't go, wake up. 𝗵𝗲's eyes widened and zoomed in. It seemed as if her heart had stopped. 𝗵𝗃 and 𝗧𝗏 had similar reactions, reaching out for their friend, but nothing came from it. That's when everyone noticed Natsu and Lucy looking at them with tears as well as happy. Natsu, hey Izuku, wake up, come on man. But Izuku's body didn't move. Natsu charged forward, only to be held down by Lucy. Natsu, let go of me. Izuku, wake up. Izuku, come on, please wake up. The entire guild was left in tears, but they broke out of their grief by 𝗳𝗁's laughing. 𝗳𝗁, ha ha ha, you all relied on that hero, didn't you? Oh, this is extraordinary, but have no fear, I will not kill you all. No, I will make all of you watch as I take the girls of your guild away from you. The girls looked in terror at the sick man. 𝗧𝗏, you be 𝗳𝗁, I'll make them cry. 𝗳𝗁, I'll torture them. 𝗳𝗁, and when I'm done I'll kill the. Suddenly 𝗳𝗁 was sent flying into a wall, shocking everyone. Izuku was standing there breathing heavily with BLD covering his entire body. 𝗳𝗁, he screeched as he continued to dig into the wall, the stones clawing at his back. 𝗳𝗁, you brat, why won't you just die already? Izuku, because I promised I would win, because it's a hero's job to protect everyone. The entire guild looked at Izuku in awe as he stood forward clutching his fist to fight 𝗳𝗁. Izuku, I will hold him off. 𝗵𝗃, Natsu, you the only ones who can stand right now, take everyone out of here. Natsu, what in no way I am staying and help Izuku. Natsu. Izuku stayed looking forward as Natsu seemed to look like he was about to speak back, but something told him not to. 𝗳𝗁, so you will hold me back, will you? Izuku, it's a hero's job to stand up and fight the injustices of the world. Memories began to flow into Izuku's mind. Izuku, and I will always protect those who need protecting. Izuku's body began to give off the same green lightning. Izuku, now come. 𝗳𝗁, 𝗳𝗁, 𝗳𝗏 ghoul devouring. 𝗳𝗁 jumped high into the air and came striking down. His entire body became covered in his purple ghouls as he strikes Izuku. 𝗳𝗁 jumped high into the air and came striking down. His entire body became covered in his purple ghouls as he strikes Izuku. Izuku, one for all 100% smash. Izuku, one for all 100% smash. 𝗳𝗁, what's wrong? That was weaker than before. 𝗳𝗁, what's wrong? That was weaker than before. Izuku, fine, it's fine, I will no let him past me. Soren, are you? And 𝗵𝗃 and Natsu looked in fear and tears before they picked up the others and ran with them, telling the two to put them down while crying. 𝗳𝗁, ha 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 man, you're the best, destroying you will give me unbelievable pleasure. 𝗳𝗁, ha ha man, you're the best, destroying you will give me unbelievable pleasure. Izuku, shut up. 𝗧𝗏 and 𝗵𝗲 looked back at Izuku, who was loosing 𝗧𝗏. Why 𝗳𝗏, now show me your BLD. Izuku's grandpa's voice. Not just anyone can be called a hero. It isn't the kind of title you can earn simply cause you brandish a sword or carries a shield, and it's got nothing to do with magic or strength. Izuku, a hero is someone who is willing to. Izuku's grandpa's voice. Not just anyone can be called a hero. It isn't the kind of title you can earn simply cause you brandish a sword or carries a shield, and it's got nothing to do with magic or strength. Izuku, a hero, is someone who is willing to risk his life for the sake of the ones he loves. You may take a few bumps along the way, but don't lose heart, boy. The victor will always rise up from amongst the rubble. Hold on tight to your wish, cry out with all your longing. Because that's what makes a hero shine the brightest. One 𝐒𝐳 finally smashed Izuku into the ground. The air pressure of the impact shook the entire robotic guild and caused a massive wave. 𝗧𝗧, you're dead. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I can't wait to see. A sword flew and the hilt hit 𝗧𝗧's head. 𝗧𝗧, get off of him, Izuku. 𝗧𝗧, he thought to himself, waking up. Mira, leave him alone. Izuku, please don't die. I am begging you. Izuku thoughts. Mira, you promised to share my pain. Don't you dare break it. Izuku thoughts. I can't lose. 𝗧𝗧, shut up, just wait. Okay, then I'll come for all of you and give you to my wizards so they can pleasure themselves. That's when it happened. Lightning began to generate around 𝗧𝗧 again, and suddenly 𝗧𝗧 began to be lifted off the ground. There was Izuku, his fist on 𝗧𝗧's stomach, pushing him up. That's when it happened. Lightning began to generate around 𝗧𝗧 again, and suddenly 𝗧𝗧 began to be lifted off the ground. There was Izuku, his fist on 𝗧𝗧's stomach, pushing him up. Izuku, I will never let you touch them. Izuku, I will never let you touch them. 𝗕𝗁𝗢𝗄 was sent through several walls and into the lake beneath the guild. Everyone was left in shock, but what shocked them even more was the lightning surrounding Izuku, who vanished only to reveal a single green glowing figure. This was Deku 100%. 𝗧𝗧 was sent through several walls and into the lake beneath the guild. Everyone was left in shock, but what shocked them even more was the lightning surrounding Izuku, who vanished only to reveal a single green glowing figure. This was Deku 1, who +1 for all full lightning mode, and nothing could stop him. Izuku full lightning disappeared in a lightning bolt and appeared in front of 𝗧𝗧, who splashed out the water in full rage. His right eye went back to white, but was completely red with blood coming down like a waterfall from his head. 𝗧𝗧, I won't lose, not to you, he shouted, activating his black eyes again. Izuku, 𝗧𝗧, enough. 𝗧𝗧, enough. The ghost-like figures wrapped around Izuku only for 𝗧𝗧 to smile in glee. That is till Izuku destroyed them. The ghost-like figures wrapped around Izuku only for 𝗧𝗧 to smile in glee. That is till Izuku destroyed them. The ghost-like figures wrapped around Izuku only for 𝗧𝗧 to smile in glee. That is till Izuku destroyed them and vanish, then reappear under 𝗧𝗧 just to uppercut him with a lightning fist, sending 𝗧𝗧 flying, and then Izuku punched him again only with a thunder fist, sending 𝗧𝗧 flying, and then Izuku punched him again only with a thunder fist. 𝗧𝗧 drifted on the seafloor and then bounced from the water and slammed into the mountain behind him, shattering it. 𝗧𝗧 drifted on the seafloor and then bounced from the water and slammed into the mountain behind him, shattering it. 𝗧𝗧 looked up only to see the green Izuku walking towards him, but this time something was different. The floor beneath him began to shatter as well as everything around him, and a yellow glow surrounded the boy. 𝗧𝗧 looked up only to see the green Izuku walking towards him, but this time something was different. The floor beneath him began to shatter as well as everything around him, and a yellow glow surrounded the boy. Izuku spoke, but his voice sounded as if it was a vibration. You have been judged, 𝗧𝗧, and now you will pay. Raising his hand into the air, Izuku finished. 𝗧𝗧, Izuku spoke, but his voice sounded as if it was a vibration. You have been judged, 𝗧𝗧, and now you will pay. Raising his hand into the air, Izuku finished. 𝗧𝗧, as the attack ended, the entire guild was left wide-eyed looking at Izuku, who was simply standing in front of a white shaking 𝗧𝗧. Izuku walked towards his guild members, who remained silent, and stopped, arriving in front of 𝗧𝗧, who was simply smiling sadly. At him, she placed her hand on his face as 𝗏𝗏𝗏 connected both her hand to his cheek, and then she placed her other hand on Izuku, walked towards his guild members, who remained silent, and stopped, arriving in front of 𝗧𝗧, who was simply smiling sadly at him. She placed her hand on his face as 𝗏𝗏𝗏 connected both her hand to his cheek, and then she placed her other hand on the opposite cheek, and brought his head into the crook of her neck. 𝗧𝗧, thank you, Izuku, you've done enough. Izuku's body began to crack when it shattered, a perfectly fine and unconscious Izuku who was breathing softly. 𝗧𝗧, fairy tale. Everyone looked to 𝗧𝗧. We won, she shouted out as they all broke into a cheer, and when the 𝗵𝗃 came, everyone's cheers got louder. Plus, in the Magic Council after the Battle of Fairy Tail and the Phantom Lord Guild, Mr. Makarov and Izuku were put on a trial. Izuku for defeating 𝗧𝗧 and how there were no records of him, while Makarov for the damage the two guilds caused. Thankfully they were not charged for the damage since Phantom Lord provoked the guild, and several eyewitnesses confirmed that while every member of the Fairy Tail Guild was put into questioning for all that happened and what role they played in the battle, now in front of the 10 wizard saints, Izuku and Makarov are asleep. Random. Makarov are Izuku/Makarov. Random. Court is in session and we have a very strict policy of no sleeping while on the stand. Izuku/Makarov. Sorry, they laughed while rubbing the back of their heads. Meanwhile the council were all snarling at Izuku and Makarov as 𝗧𝗵𝗲. They laughed while rubbing the back of their heads. Meanwhile the council were all snarling at Izuku and Makarov as 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and 𝗬𝗪 chuckled at the two. Phantom Lord was disbanded and 𝗬𝗪 was arrested for the crimes that he committed, and after Makarov exited the room the council began to talk with Izuku. So Mr. Izuku, you single-handedly defeated 𝗬𝗪, a wizard saint, when you've only been part of the Fairy Tail Guild Hall for 3 weeks, am I right? Izuku. Yes sir. Yajima. May I ask Midoriya, what was it that pushed you to overcome such limits? Because checking the reports from the hospital you were put in, they say that somehow your magic reserves were forcefully expanded allowing you to defeat 𝗬𝗪, but the cause of such an exponential feat was a strong emotion. Please tell me. Izuku. Of course sir, it was because he threatened to RP the girls of our guild. Niccolo. So it was a simple jealousy. Izuku. No, not jealousy. Izuku looked up with crimson eyes, shocking them. Izuku. It was pure inhuman rage and a strong sense of justice. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Interesting, so your longing to protect them pushed you to such extremes. You truly earned your title as King of the Heroes. One. Izuku. Thank you for the compliment, Izuku said, rubbing the back of his head. 𝗬𝗪. And you're very handsome at that. Izuku. You're too kind for someone with such angelic looks. 𝗬𝗪 blushed. Fufu, quite the sweet talker, isn't you? Izuku. Org. Enough, tell me, what was that green lightning? There was no magic energy in your attack, and yet lightning came, but it also sent 𝗬𝗪, a wizard saint, through the floors and into the ocean from 200 feet, and if that's not all, you completely destroyed within 204 meters of the land around you. Izuku. Sorry, can't say, cause I don't know. Izuku looked down at his fist and clutched it. Somehow he used one, but it was completely different. He was made of his green arcs and didn't destroy his body. The council glared at Izuku, who simply looked down. 𝗬𝗪. How about I guide you out? Izuku? Thank you, Niccolo. We're not done here, he still needs Tio. Izuku turned with a BLD chilling glare. Shut up, he said, with venom causing the rest of the council to shake while 𝗬𝗪 guided him out. Outside, Izuku stood face to face with 𝗬𝗪. Thank you for guiding me out. I suppose this is goodbye, Miss 𝗬𝗪. I guess so, but before you leave, Izuku. However, 𝗬𝗪 shut him up by kissing his lips. Little did Izuku know she was searching his memories until she was forced out and Izuku whispered into her ear. Izuku. For an appealing girl, you really do play dirty. She blushed bright red as she seductively smiled and walked away waving 𝗬𝗪. Izuku. Midoriya. She put her fingers on her lips as she smiled while he walked away. 𝗬𝗪. I can't wait to see you again, my hero king, in the Fairy Tail Guild Hall the next day. Mira-Jane. Listen up everyone, we're taking on job requests again starting today. You'll have TO, excuse the mess from construction, but at least you can still work. Everyone. Yeah. Lucy, what's up with the most of the time these guys would be loafing around the guild hall? Asked Lucy, who was sitting in front of Mira at the quick make bar. Mira. Laugh. Lucy. I don't suppose you've seen Loke, have you? Mira stopped laughing and smiled seductively with a blush, staring at Izuku, who walked to them and sat down for a drink. Mira. Hes She screamed, jumping and hugging him as he laughed and seated her on his lap. Izuku. What's going on with Lucy? Mira. She's asking about Loke. Izuku. Oh, don't tell me you've fallen for the guild's playboy. One. Lucy. No, apparently he's the one who got back my keys. I just wanted to thank him. Mira. Oh sure, I'll tell him if I see him. Izuku. Yep, you can count on me, just don't hold your hopes up. Or Mira, she's an airhead. Mira. What? Take it back. One. Izuku. See, airhead. Lucy giggled at the two as they smiled back at her, chuckling a bit. Mira. So were you spirits made at you, for dropping your keys? Lucy. I guess you could say that, and there was this one spirit who was especially pissed about me dropping her key. Lucy said, remembering the living nightmare known as Aquarius. Lucy. Just thinking about it makes my butt sting. Gray, who was behind Lucy, released cold air from his hand. I can cool it for ya, Lucy. That sounds like 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗍𝗔 happy. Lucy, can you show me how red your butt is? Lucy. And that's just crossing the line. Natsu whispering to Izuku and Happy. How do you think she'll react if I make her butt sting even more? One. Izuku whispering back. Good idea, I'll make some a dry ice hand and we'll see. Happy. Giggle Lucy, Who are you? The devil. Suddenly a barrel came and crashed into 𝗏𝗧, attracting their attention to 𝗧𝗏𝗏. Why don't you tell everyone else how you feel? 𝗏𝗧s was seated in front of 𝗧𝗏 as she clenched her fist. 𝗏𝗧s. I have no problem telling him what I think of him. This guild's filled with nothing but weaklings. Especially the two of you morons. You were basically phantoms, punching bags. You know, I'm glad I never got to know your names, he said, looking back at the injured Jet and 𝗓𝗏, who looked down. This guy's was getting on Izukus' last nerve. 𝗏𝗧s. Which brings me back to the worst of them all, the rich little princess wannabe wizard. This was your fault, Mira. 𝗏𝗧s. Would you shut up? The MC said that no one would be held accountable for what happened, not even you, despite the fact that I begged you to help and you turn your back on you. Mira begged him to help. That finally snapped Izuku. 𝗏𝗧s. Quit your whining. This had nothing to do with me, and if I had been there then you wouldn't be drowning your sorrows in this rubble right now. 𝗏𝗧s, I've heard enough out of you. 𝗏𝗧s came back behind 𝗏𝗧s, earning a gasp from Lucy. However, before 𝗏𝗧s could fall, Izuku caught him while glaring at 𝗏𝗧s. 𝗏𝗧s came back behind 𝗏𝗧s, earning a gasp from Lucy. However, before 𝗏𝗧s could fall, Izuku caught him while glaring at 𝗏𝗧s. Izuku, get lost. 𝗏𝗧s. What was that? Oh, it's you, the so-called hero king of fairy tale. You know, I've got to admit you pretty strong, but you're nothing compared to me. But before he could finish, Izuku slammed his fist in 𝗏𝗧s' face, sending him crashing into a wall. But before he could finish, Izuku slammed his fist in 𝗏𝗧s' face, sending him crashing into a wall, shocking everyone. 𝗏𝗧s got up with a bleeding nose, glaring at Izuku. When I come back and take over this guild, I'll torture you to death, and then we'll see who gets the last punch in, he shouted at Izuku. Izuku, I don't give a 𝐒𝐭𝐴. Make Mira plead for your help again, and I'll make sure to shatter every single bone in your body. Both men erupted with a magic aura that shook the ground below when 𝗏𝗧s vanished in a lightning bolt and Izuku walked away while everyone stayed silent. Izuku walked over to the bar and sat down, growling. Mira, thank you, 𝐼𝐧𝐿, she said, kissing his cheek when everyone broke out of their shock. Lucy, ugh, what a j. Why would anyone let him take over? Mira, we may not have a choice. 𝗏𝗧s may inherit the guild since he's the MSTR's grandson. Lucy, huh, Izuku, I thought so. Mira leaned over the bar and rested her head on Izuku's shoulder as she told Lucy why 𝗏𝗧s may end up with the guild. Meanwhile, 𝗏𝗧s was busy raging when 𝗧𝗏 finally accepted that they were a team, shocking the guild at how dense she was to finally notice then and there. 𝗧𝗏, what do you say? Izuku wants to join. Izuku, I'll think about it, but for now I want to rest later. After 𝗏𝗧s' team left and everyone went home for the night, Izuku left to the beach. Standing on the shore, he looked over the horizon when suddenly his eye began to bleed too. Izuku, what are you? Izuku asked, holding his eye, which burst into green fire. Izuku, banishing shift new magic, but there's more, something it's calling to me. But what is it? This one magic saved me and 𝗧𝗏 when we took that job. She told me what happened, but the face she had, it was of fear and sadness. Somehow she knows what Izuku, banishing shift new magic, but there's more, something it's calling to me. But what is it? This one magic saved me and 𝗧𝗏 when we took that job. She told me what happened, but the face she had, it was of fear and sadness. Somehow she knows what this magic is. I need to get to the bottom of this. Mira, hey Izuku. The flame vanished and Izuku looked back to Mira, who ran over to him with a smile. Izuku, what up? Mira, do you want to go on a date tomorrow? Izuku went wide-eyed. Really? She nodded. Izuku, sure. Mira, hooray, she cheered before running and jumping into Izuku's arms. The next day. Izuku, how did we get here? Izuku is currently standing beside Mira, Makarov, 3 guild masters, and Yajima while they are watching 𝗏𝗧s' team perform on stage. Izuku, they're such horrible actors. Mira, they're talented actors. Izuku, airhead. Mira, why you jerk, hey? She said as they couldn't help but smile when Gray summoned a dragon, which was 𝗏𝗧s in a dragon costume spitting fire, and then they decided to slay the dragon, which confused the audience. That was when the princess thought that she should destroy the dragon only to end up on fire for 𝗧𝗏 to cut off her dress, exposing her body. Men, oh yeah. Izuku/Mira, laugh. Izuku, hey Mira, can you do something for me? Mira, sure. What's up? As the 3 fairy tale wizards destroyed the stage, a booming voice echoed through them all. That enough, they all stopped fighting and everyone turned their attention to the horrifying beast that walked onto the stage. They all stopped fighting and everyone turned their attention to the horrifying beast that walked onto the stage. 𝗧𝗏, who are you? Beast. My name is not of importance, however you fools have destroyed my kingdom, and for that, I will make you pay. His deep voice sounded as if he was talking over his own voice. Gray, come and get it. Beast Gray charged forward, slashing his sword down, but the beast caught it and shattered the blade, then punched Gray into 𝗧𝗏, making them both smash into 𝗏𝗏s crowd. Get up, fight the beast. Crowd, 𝐒𝐻𝗵𝗲, get out of here and never return 𝗧𝗏. We won't abandon the princess beast. Then take her, but if you ever come back you will be my prisoners. The three took Lucy and ran away while the beast stood there looking down. Crowd. What do you think is gonna happen? Crowd 2. I'm not sure. Suddenly the beast went on all four and jumped to the roof of the fast-make castle. Lucy was in the crowd and masters were all brought to tears hearing his appealing voice. The beast settled by sitting on the roof and covering his face and roaring one last time before the curtains closed and everyone began to cheer. Crowd. Yeah, you're amazing, beast. Crowd. We love you, beast. Come back, princess. Crowd. Beast, 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 𝗵𝗃𝗲. That was so appealing. 𝗧𝗏𝗏. Indeed, I wonder who it was. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, I wonder, she said before turning and walking away when something swung in and climbed to the roof holding her. Both sat there, 𝗵𝗃𝗲 on his lap and Izuku looking to the sky. Izuku. 𝗵𝗃𝗲. Sure, I know, and I'm alright with sharing you with other girls. Izuku. Yeah, but looking at the beast and then at my real self, I think me and him are similar. 𝗵𝗃𝗲. How is Izuku? Because like the beast I found my light and this time I kept it instead of letting go of it. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 smiled with tears as she kissed Izuku and he kissed back. Izuku. Thoughts. Now I'm sure I've finally found where I'm meant to be. Thank you, 𝗵𝗃𝗲. The next day suddenly 𝗏𝗏 left and the entire guild searched for him all night. However, the one that found him was Lucy and Izuku. So while Lucy spoke to 𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏 told her his story as a celestial spirit, Izuku hid in a tree listening to his story about how the woman named Karen, a famous celestial wizard, died and how it's haunted him since the very day she's died. In the guild Blue Pegasus 3 years ago a woman voice could be heard. I'm sorry, boys, but I got an appointment at the salon this afternoon. Several men were surrounding her as the girls in a bar spoke rudely behind her back, jealous of all the attention she was receiving. 𝗓𝗏𝗏 was busy cleaning a glass cup at the bar, feeling pity for the greeneat. Several men were surrounding her as the girls in a bar spoke rudely behind her back, jealous of all the attention she was receiving. 𝗓𝗏𝗏 was busy cleaning a glass cup at the bar, feeling pity for the greeneat. Karen. Ugh, I don't have time for this. Open gate of the golden ram. 𝐴𝐻𝐻𝗵𝗃. Karen. Ugh, I don't have time for this. Open gate of the golden ram. 𝐴𝐻𝐻𝗵𝗃. A sheep bar could be heard and in a poof of smoke appeared a pink-haired busty girl in a white short dress with parted sleeves all made of sheep. Well, she was simply adorable too. A sheep bar could be heard and in a poof of smoke appeared a pink-haired busty girl in a white short dress with parted sleeves all made of sheep. Well, she was simply adorable. 𝗬𝗓𝗓 stood timidly in front of the woman and men as they all simply gushed over her. 𝗬𝗓𝗓. I'm sorry, ma'am, did you summon me? Karen. Look, I gotta run, so will you entertain these gentlemen for me? 𝗬𝗓𝗓. No, not that again. Do I have to? One man. Look, we just want to get to know you better. Man 2. Come on. Appealing. 𝗬𝗓𝗓. I'm sorry, but I'm a celestial spirit. I am not cut out for these types of things. Karen enraged shouted at the poor girl who stood back terrified. Karen enraged shouted at the poor girl who stood back terrified. Karen. You're not refusing to follow orders, are you? 𝗬𝗓𝗓. No, of course not, ma'am. And with that, the men took her away. Time skip. Karen was seated in front of the bar where the 𝗓𝗏𝗏 worked with a cup of wine. Karen. Unbelievable. I mean, who does that little hussy think she is, talking back to me like that? Bob, I know you're frustrated, but you shouldn't be so cruel to your celestial spirits. My dead Karen. What? Well, as far as I'm concerned, she's my property, so I can treat her any way I please. Bob began to phase through the bar. It seems like you especially ate her on poor 𝗬𝗓𝗓. Bob placed his hand under his chin and his other arm below his elbow, holding it up. Bob, I've heard of all those awful things you've done to her. Like using her as a shield when you're fighting another wizard, Bob said, reminiscing about when Karen was fighting someone and used 𝗬𝗓𝗓 as a shield. Karen. Yeah, and so what? It's not like she's human or anything. Celestial spirits are nothing but tools, and that pushed the line with Bob 1 and that pushed the line with Bob Bon. Karen. They're living beings just like you, and if you continue to treat them so deplorably, they're bound to rebel against you. Karen moved back, shaking in fear from witnessing the normally calm and cool 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Bob so pissed beyond belief. Time skip. Slap. 𝗬𝗓𝗓 yelping. Karen stood in front of 𝗬𝗓𝗓, who was lying on the ground holding her red cheek with teary eyes. The woman held a wooden stick and the objects in the room were all lying on the ground. Karen. How dare you go behind my back and tattle to 𝗵𝗏𝗏? 𝗬𝗓𝗓. I don't know what you mean. I never said a word to him, honestly. Ma'am. Karen was staring at the girl. Her purple crimson eyes shook with fury as she shouted at the poor spirit. Karen. You went and made the 𝗵𝗃𝗏 angry with me. This means that now I am angry with you. 𝗬𝗓𝗓 were shaking in fear and pain, holding her wounded cheek with tears. I never told him. It's the truth, ma'am. I swear I didn't. Karen pulled out a chain with cuffs on each and presumably magic restraining cuffs. Karen, you're still feigning innocence. Ares, what are those for? Karen smiled, a vicious smirk, pure evil hid in her words as she spoke. I'm gonna use them to lock you up for 7 days. Right here in the human world. Ares' eyes widened in fear. For 7 days, but your magic won't hold out that long. Karen, I'm a lot stronger than you even know, Missy. She licked her lips with glee. Karen, I'm gonna be just fine, but you, on the other hand. Ares began to whimper in terror. Karen, I've always wondered what a week in the human world would do to a celestial spirit. Karen dropped the chain, is causing a noise that sounded like a few coins in a sack as Ares begged for her to change her mind, but suddenly she was gone and replacing her was Lohk holding Karen's wrist with a glare on his face. Karen, Leo the lion. Karen, Leo the lion. Lohk spoke to Lucy of his efforts to stop her and how they were all in vain since he was still contracted to her. Meanwhile, Izuku was shaking with rage. His grip began to break the branch into pieces as Lohk continued. Karen stood 2 feet away from Leo, angrily speaking. Laren, why you? How did you open your own gate? Leo, I'm a celestial spirit built for battle. I'm strong and patient. Your abuse doesn't affect me like it does my fellow spirits. Karen's glare lessened and she gasped, stepping back. Leo, I'm warning you. If you ever lay a hand on Ares again, you'll be sorry. Karen began to shake in anger. Karen, who do you think you are threatening me? Leo, there's been something I've been meaning to say to you for a while. I demand that you release me and Ares from our contract immediately. Karen, what you demand me? Lohk, your behavior and the way you've treated us is deplorable. In fact, many spirits from our world are afraid of their keys falling into your hands. Karen, shut up. That's not true, Leo. You're a disgrace to other celestial wizards. Karen began to try and close Leo's gate, however, in realizing she can't and through Leo telling her that he was using his own magic to keep him there, he left to the ruins on the other side of town to wait for her to release their contract, but she never did. Each time she saw him, her figure looked worse than before. She wasn't skinny, but her clothes were dirty a lot, and then the day came when she died, doing a job causing Leo to blame himself. Lohk finished telling Lucy the story and he began to vanish. That was when Lucy began to fight back and use all her magic to protect him. She screamed using all her power, shocking Lohk and Izuku as all her magic ran out, and she finished by calling the Spirit King's judgment wrong. Lohk finished telling Lucy the story and he began to vanish. That was when Lucy began to fight back and use all her magic to protect him. She screamed using all her power, shocking Lohk and Izuku as all her magic ran out, and she finished by calling T. The king began to tell Lohk how he hated to see him in such a state and how he was guilty of killing Karen, but Lucy stood up defending the boy. That was when Izuku finally came into the mix. Izuku, shut the hell up, you mustache face. All of them turned to Izuku, who held a pissed off expression. Lucy, Izuku. Lohk, what are you doing here? Izuku, shut it, Lohk. Celestial King, a young man. Who are you to speak so rudely to me? Izuku, I'm just a boy who came to this world after his death, but a boy who doesn't belong here. But even so, the two looked at Izuku with wide eyes. Izuku, I'm a much better person than you. The king looked at Izuku in shock but also in confusion. Celestial King, you dare, child, how dare you speak to me in such a way? Lohk, thoughts. Why is the king so angry? Izuku, Lohk had taken the consequences for your mistake, for you failure. Celestial King, silence. The world underneath them began to shake. The seas began to rise as the king got angry. Izuku, you are no king. You're pathetic, absolutely pathetic. You, instead of protecting your daughter, you simply watched as she suffered and did nothing. Celestial King, you dare, you know absolutely nothing. The king raised his sword into the air and slammed it down. Lucy / Lohk, Izuku, shocking them was Izuku, who shattered the blade with his hand alone, surprising even the king. Izuku, shut the hell up. While Ares suffered for so long under that diamond's hands, you down and watched. You're absolutely pathetic, making your own children go through that and do anything. Celestial King, shut up. Izuku, and why should I? You're nothing but a scumbag. What sick pleasure did you find in watching her cry? Tell me. Celestial King, silence. Opening his palm, he fired a massive beam of celestial energy at Izuku. Izuku, I refuse. I'll make you pay for everything you've done, even if I have to die to do it. Izuku, I refuse. I'll make you pay for everything you've done, even if I have to die to do it. Suddenly the same magic came to Izuku and his eye burst into green fire. Suddenly the same magic came to Izuku and his eye burst into green fire, and from it, He fired a massive beam of green energy from his chest. Both Izukus and the Celestial Spirit King's attack collided, sending everything flying, and destroyed Lucy and 𝐒𝐭𝐻 were shocked by Izukus' power. Both Izukus and the Celestial Spirit King's attack collided, sending everything flying, and destroyed Lucy and 𝐒𝐿𝐻 were shocked by Izukus' power. Celestial King thoughts. What is this? It's like he's destroying my magic. I can't even sense it anymore. How is this possible? He's destroying my connection with the stars. I need to stop this. Izuku. The beam of green grew larger and began to envelop the king's power, reaching the king when Izuku fell to his knees, tired and empty of all magic energy. Izuku. Demon that hurts. Celestial King. The three looked at him in shock as the Spirit King was also on his knees, gasping for air. Celestial King. Impressive boy, truly impressive. I've never had a battle like that before. You're incredible. 𝐒𝐿𝐻/Lucy. Izuku, you're not too bad yourself. Old man 𝗧𝗵𝗵, just gonna call the Spirit King 𝐒𝐭𝐳. Boy, you not only challenged me, insulted me, and battled me, but you nearly defeated me at the cost of your life. All this for a spirit you don't even know to tell me why. Izuku looked down. Because like her I was also abused. The 𝐒𝐭𝐳 and Lucy alongside 𝐒𝐿𝐻 were all shocked. Father would hit me every day since I was 4 to 12. My best friends turned their backs to me because I was weaker than them, and the boy I considered my brother attacked me every day. I had no one, Izuku said as the other three looked at him with broken hearts and remorse. Izuku. It got so bad, my father's torture, that he began to use a metal bat and nearly killed me with it. I watched as he was taken to an asylum for the insane. I had no one, and even though my mother always smiled at me and told me it will all be alright, I knew she secretly hated me, but she tried to get over the feeling. Lucy. Izuku. 𝗧𝗵𝗵. Young man, hearing all you've said, I feel like I can trust you. See, there is not a day that goes by where I don't torment myself for not protecting my child. It haunts me. Her tears, her screams, and she pleads. I never felt as though anyone felt the same, but seeing you I see that I'm wrong. That is why I believe you should have 𝐒𝐻𝐢𝐵. The three were shocked. Izuku. But I don't have celestial magic. 𝗧𝗵𝗵. Then I will give you a portion of my own. Izuku. Are you sure? The 𝗧𝗵𝗵 smiled at Izuku. 100% V, more sure of this than anything in my entire immortal life. Izuku. Then I accept. I will protect 𝐒𝐻𝐢𝐵 through everything and make her happy, even if it were to be in sickness and in health. 𝗧𝗵𝗵. Good, well then 𝗒𝐻𝐢𝐵, come on out. A poof of smoke appeared beside Izuku, and from it stood 𝗒𝐻𝐢𝐵 looking down, shy and blushing. 𝗒𝐻𝐢𝐵. Do you really mean that? Izuku? Yep, definitely. 𝗒𝗉𝐻𝐢𝐵 began to tear up before being hugged by Izuku. There, he said, patting her head as she cried into his shoulder. 𝗧𝗵𝗵. Now for my final gift. 𝗒𝐿𝐻, you will be able to come back home, but from now on you'll protect your friend with all your life. 𝗒𝗍 agreed, and with that, the king left and Lucy got Leo the lion's key while Izuku got 𝗒𝗉𝐢𝗵. The next day everyone was surprised that Leo was a spirit, and Mira, Kana, and Levi were jealous at how Izuku was cuddling with 𝗒𝗉𝗄 nonstop and snuggling into her neck, which he found comfy. Finally the day ended with 𝗒𝗻 giving Natsu's team tickets for a hotel at a beach, and they wanted Izuku to come. They practically dragged him away. That was the day things began to change between him and 𝗧𝗏. It's a appealing day at the beach with Lucy and Natsu on a surfboard attached to a jet ski and surfing the water, Happy trying to stand on the hot stand but hopping to each leg, and Izuku, 𝗬𝗍𝗏, 𝗧𝗏, along Gray, all playing netball, and then all of them running along the shores of the water, touching the sand, each with smiles and laughs, and a blushing 𝗬𝗍𝗏 getting a piggyback from Izuku. One currently in Akane Resorts, all of Fiori. Most popular resort where its citizens can relax and enjoy themselves in a number of ways. Both its amusement park and the adjoining hotel are rated first class. One visit to its white sand beach will make you want to come back again and again. All this looks the ocean water as far as the eye can see. Using the tickets Loki gave us, me, 𝗬𝗍𝗏, and the others enjoy some well-deserved fun in the sun. Natsu is currently playing piggy in the middle with Izuku tossing Gray's underwear back and forth while Gray uses happy as a way to cover up his pee-pee. Gray, give me back my bathing suit. Natsu, no way man. Ha ha ha. 𝗬𝗍𝗏, this is so embarrassing. Izuku, ha ha. Happy, you uck. Lucy, ha, I don't think Happy likes being used as a cover-up. Meanwhile, hiding behind a coconut tree is Juvia in a bikini with a massive smile on her face. Meanwhile, hiding behind a coconut tree is Juvia in a bikini with a massive smile on her face. Juvia, oh my darling, is such a hunk. Time skip. Izuku is seated outside his room on his balcony looking out to the sky with some alcohol in hand. His eyes were near closed. Izuku Show me who you are, and with that, he fell asleep in his dream, or rather vision. Izuku saw colonies of ships sailing towards a single location, then an island in which cargo was being transported, and beside the fires used to keep the place under light were guards wearing strange masks and clothing alongside creepy monsters with collars around their necks. They looked like a pet monster from Stranger Things. Then it changed to when it was daytime. People were being used as slaves with little clothing on their bodies, walking around shoeless. Their cuffs were magnetic, and the line of magic connected them to a small robot hovering behind the slaves, who pulled along the cargo inside a canyon where construction was clearly being done, and the guards supervised it all. Men and women were mining, old and young. Some struggled to even stand, while others were being shocked and made to scream in agony from the lightning coursing through their veins. As punishment, their homes were in cells, and the kids and adults along with the elderly were all seated leaning against the dirty rock walls while the guards roamed outside. Then there was a small girl who fell to the ground. She had purple eyes and red hair like 𝗧𝗏, only much shorter. She wore a blue dress covered with markings and dirt with some rips in it. The guard began to shout at her, and the Stranger Thing-looking monster barked at her. The girl could only tuck herself into a ball with small tears at the end of her eyes. That's when it ended, within a prison cell, completely dark, not even a shred of light. Lying there was a boy with brown hair and green eyes. Visible anger was inscribed on his face. Before he looked at Izuku, the boy's eyes shined brightly, and he mimicked several words. The scene changed to reveal to guards when short and fat, other tall and skinny, looming over a blue-haired body with smirks, an old man with the fairy tale emblem on his back shielding something from the other, and then a bunch of smoke in the mining site. Before it all ended, Izuku heard the words, "I love you always, 𝗧𝗏." End of vision. Izuku woke up huffing and puffing while holding his eye. Who was that boy looking right at him? Was he the one who helped Izuku against Jose? The reason they won? Was he the reason for that vision? And what connection did he have to that little girl? Why was he angry when she cried, and why was he himself suddenly angry? Izuku walked inside only to look into his mirror with a thoughtful impression on his face before sitting, the tears streaming down his eyes. Wiping his tears off and clutching his fist, "Izuku, why does it hurt to see that little girl cry?" he asked himself, remembering the girl who looked a lot like 𝗧𝗏 tearing up in a ball. When the door was slammed open by Lucy. "Lucy. Hey Izuku, come on, everyone's downstairs, come join us, I'm heading to get 𝗧𝗏." "Izuku? Oh, I'm sure, Lucy. Lucy, are you alright? You looked like you were crying." "Izuku, no, I'm fine to thank you, goodbye now," he said before shutting the door and going back to the mirror, only to feel and see two arms wrapped around his waist and Aries behind him. "Aries, don't cry." Izuku turned and petted the girl. "Izuku, don't worry, I won't now." "Then head back to the spirit world. You need rest after our long day, or did you want to see me get dressed? My Aries, a pervert, are we, Aries?" "Who?" she said, exploding in a blush before disappearing, leaving a chuckling Izuku. "Okay, time to get dressed," he told himself before starting to change. Outside Izuku's room waited 𝗧𝗏 and Lucy, who were bored. "Lucy, what's taking him so long?" "𝗧𝗏, damn it, I'm just gonna get him, and I swear if he's asleep I'm gonna." She opened the door to stop talking and blush. Lucy, who was confused, went to see what's wrong and went wide-eyed. Standing there was a bachelor in Izuku's place. She opened the door to stop talking and blush. Lucy, who was confused, went to see what's wrong and went wide-eyed. Standing there was a bachelor in Izuku's place. 3 Izuku. Well. Is something the matter, ladies?" Izuku asked, pushing a little hair up from his eye with a smirk, causing 𝗧𝗏 and Lucy to turn into a stuttering mess and run to the casino. "Izuku, I suppose I look good, don't I?" he told himself before leaving. In the celestial realm, Aries can be seen blushing while looking at Izuku using her magic. Little did she know a jealous Virgo was glaring at her, since Izuku was her and Aquarius were trying hard to get everyone's attention, but they were all staring at Izuku through the TV, even the celestial spirit king pissing the water spirit off with Izuku. While everyone enjoyed themselves at the casino, Natsu, Happy and Gray were busy playing for 3/17 on a strange machine until they got 2 instead of 3 and they lost it. 𝗧𝗏, Izuku, and Lucy were playing cards, but Izuku was on another game from the 2. "Izuku, well, boys seem to like the money's mine," Izuku said as the people at his table all got depressed since Izuku took away all their money from winning his game. Then 𝗪𝗑𝗪 came towards him in her appealing blue dress and a large golden fairy tale necklace around her neck. Izuku said as the people at his table all got depressed since Izuku took away all their money from winning his game. Then 𝗪𝗪𝗪 came towards him in her appealing blue dress and a large golden fairy tale necklace around her neck. 𝗪𝗪𝗪, hello my darling, do you remember me? Izuku. "Oh 𝗪𝗪𝗪, nice to see you," Izuku said with his signature smile. "𝗪𝗪𝗪, Will Izuku do the honor of joining 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 for a drink to 𝗔𝗂𝗧? Will Izuku do the honor of joining 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 for a drink Izuku? Sure 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 come on Izuku said before extending his hand and placing it on the stack of cash before it all was sucked into his palm and appeared in his pocket dimension the second wind spell he learned and with that, he guided 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 to a counterware. He orders for both him and her 2 drinks Izuku, so I heard Phantom Lord was disbanded are you alright 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏? Yes but now I'm a free wizard and I can join any guild I want she said making an almost desperate face while the necklace around her neck sparkled like 𝐒𝐽𝐫 little did they know someone was walking towards them slowly Izuku. So I take it you want to join Fairy Tail 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏? Oh yes very much so Izuku. I don't know after everything that had recently gone down I mean I have no queries about it but it's the 𝗵𝗲 I'm worried about 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. I'll do anything it takes Izuku. If I were you I'd be careful making promises like that especially with you're being an old pervert man. Izuku Midoriya Izuku. Izuku turned only for the tall guy to have a purple-black magic circle appear over his eye and cause a massive explosion causing everyone to scream and run the smoke upon clearing revealed Izuku and 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 on the floor Izuku got up quickly but Izuku turned only for the tall guy to have a purple-black magic circle appear over his eye and cause a massive explosion causing everyone to scream and run the smoke upon clearing revealed Izuku and 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. On the floor Izuku got up quickly but 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 whimpered in pain further deepening the anger Izuku was building up towards the guy Izuku. 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏, what the hell do you think you're doing buddy man? Where is 𝗧𝗏? Izuku. 𝗧𝗏 he asked in a questionable tone before standing up and taking a fighting pose man. Now where is she? Izuku, you think I'd tell you huh? Suddenly water began to circle in front of Izuku before it took the form of 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 with her arms spread out to protect Izuku 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. I won't allow you so much as to lay a finger on my beloved. You'll have to go through me first. Izuku, 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏 needs your help right now. I fear she is in grave danger. Izuku, you're right the man raised his arm and touched his forehead and spoke telepathically to someone only for it to end and his eye to glow red as all the light and color was drained out of everything and then everything truly went black. The light and color came back only to reveal an injured 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 and Izuku on the floor completely finished only for a few minutes to pass and Lucy to come to them Lucy. Izuku she ran to him and placed her hand on his head only for him to turn into water and cause Lucy to scream in shock 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. There is no need to panic Lucy turned only to see an all too familiar face Lucy. You're one of the element 4 Izuku. Wait Lucy 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 pushed herself up a little to reveal Izuku lying under her. Izuku. She isn't our enemy anymore 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. Yes that's right I pulled my precious Izuku inside of me to ensure his safety Izuku thoughts. Wait does that mean Izuku turned only to see 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏's tea an inch away from his face and thought Izuku thoughts. Mother I've truly become a 𝗕𝗏 protagonist I'm sorry 7 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. Izuku are you alright Izuku? Oh yeah I'm fine you can get off me now 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. Okay but first she leaned down and pushed her 𝗕𝗏's tea against Izuku's blushing. Stop it. Now redo 1 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. Okay and with that, she got off Gray. Izuku, Lucy the 3 turned only to see Gray approaching without a shirt on Gray. What is she doing here he asked preparing ice make spell until Izuku stopped him Izuku, Gray she's on our side 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. Izuku is right 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏 is not going to harm any of you Gray glared at her a bit but sighed and followed Izuku's lead Izuku. So then what happened Gray? I'm not sure I saw an explosion in your direction but I was stopped by some blockhead before. He took me and Natsu down Lucy. Oh no Izuku, what? And why were they here? And goddammit where is 𝗧𝗏? Lucy, they came after me and 𝗧𝗏 and took her away Izuku. Man it's suddenly a pillar of fire shot into the sky with a scream Izuku. Let's go the 4 ran over to Natsu who was smoking from his tongue Gray. Natsu Izuku, what happened to you Natsu? Hey, what if JRK shoots people in the mouth huh? I mean someone could get really hurt Lucy. I think that would kill anyone who wasn't a weirdo like you 𝗔𝗂𝗧𝗏. I would have to agree Natsu. I'll show that blockhead. And with that he darted off leaving a trail of dust behind him Izuku. After him and with that, they charged after Natsu Lucy. Hold on does he even know where he is going Gray? Natsu has a nose that would put wild animals to shame Izuku. Good cause we'll need it with 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏 could be seen shaking while she was cuffed to the wall inside a prison room. In front of her stood an old acquaintance named 𝗏𝗏 could be seen shaking while she was cuffed to the wall inside a prison room. In front of her stood an old acquaintance named 𝗏𝗏. What's wrong, sister? Does this room bring back memories? Ezra's breathing started to get shaky as 𝐤 continued 𝐤. Or is it the person who was once imprisoned here? Ezra's eyes widened as a memory of a boy a little older than her was chained to the wall. He was skinny and frail with brown messy hair and eyebrows, but his gorgeous green eyes shined like the moon. 𝐤, you will become the sacrifice that takes us to heaven. Our power from this will dominate the world, for when we become its new rulers we will make the council and everyone else tremble before us. We will take away their freedom and its rights. The dark memories completely replayed in Erza's mind, causing her to grow a fearful expression, but one thing that held her together, it was the feeling she had when she and Izuku kissed. The warm and calm sensation she felt in her heart from it kept her from losing it. Erza thoughts. I have no doubt you're gonna come to save me, Izuku, but please this time don't. With Izuku now on the sea, a boat is moved by the water. Controlling it is 𝗔𝗂𝘁, joined by Izuku, Lucy, Natsu, and 𝗓𝗓, all headed towards the Tower of Heaven, or rather where the kidnappers took Erza. 𝗓𝗓, where are we even going? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, we are following Salamander's lead. Lucy, do you even know where you're going? Natsu was laying on the boat sick and about to vomit, so he just nodded. Izuku, Natsu, come on, get up, we need your help, just hold on a little bit. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, how dare you disappoint my darling Izuku with your childish actions? Izuku's eyes widened as the memory of the island that the brown-haired boy was on came to mind, and he instantly told them where to go. Izuku, we're close. Lucy, huh? How do you know? Izuku, trust me, it's just something is telling me where to go. Suddenly crates began to flow around the ship, as well as dead creatures both of sky and sea. Natsu forgot about his motion sickness and got up. Natsu, what this feeling? Izuku, you sense it too. 𝗓𝗓, what's going on? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, this isn't right. Izuku, yeah, these crates, it seems there had been a fight and a large group was taken out. Izuku pointed to the destroyed ships from Magic Council. Suddenly a massive tower came into view, and Izuku got a horrible gut feeling. Suddenly a massive tower came into view and Izuku got a horrible gut feeling. Izuku, the Tower of Heaven. Lucy, that's where the guys that took Erza went. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, it seems there's a barrier keeping us out. 𝗓𝗓, yeah, how are we supposed to get in? 𝗔𝗂𝘁, I can help with that. Using these, 𝗔𝗂𝘁 used her magic to create spheres with oxygen inside for everyone to use. Izuku, all right, you're amazing. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, thank you. Izuku plus 𝗔𝗂𝘁 thoughts. Izuku complimented me, I am so happy, and with that, they all dove into the water and swam underneath the Tower of Heaven. Izuku thoughts. We're coming. Erza, the group came out of the water, but this time inside of the tower at the bottom, standing on a small island. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, great work. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, these things are amazing too. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, I'm surprised you made it here since I made you personally smaller than the rest. Lucy, wow, talk about cold intruders. Lucy, oh no. Suddenly everyone was surrounded by the guards from top to bottom. Identify yourself. Izuku, looks like we're going to have to fight. Natsu began to heat up the air around him. You losers want to know who we are? He ignited his arm in the fire. Natsu, we're the wizards who are gonna pnd your faces, and he smashed his fist into the ground, causing a massive explosion of dust, catching the guards of the guard as the group came out on top of the smoke. Natsu, we're from Fairy Tail. Natsu used Fire Dragon's Roar. Lucy summoned Virgo, who took down the guard. The top. 𝗔𝗂𝘁 used a water slicer, knocking out the other, alongside 𝗓𝗓, who used Ice Make Lance, and finally, Izuku sent a Detroit Smash at 100% and wiped everyone out. After taking all the guards down, they gathered together, was hugging Izuku tightly and rubbing her head on his chest as 𝗔𝗂𝘁 was being held back by 𝗓𝗓 from killing the spirit. Lucy, I hope we didn't attract too much attention. Oh, who am I kidding, she told herself before. In a poof, Aries came out of nowhere and pushed Virgo off, causing the two to fight. That's when the massive stone face on the wall opened its mouth and lowered a bridge for the group to enter into a room with a massive table of food in which Izuku, Natsu, and 𝗓𝗓 began to eat. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, the door that welcomed us in was controlled by a magic user. Virgo, that seems accurate. Lucy, why would they let us in? 𝗓𝗓, you think they're trying to provoke us? Lucy, I don't know. Virgo, not to be mean, but your bikini leaves little to the imagination. Lucy jumped back with a blush as Virgo approached her with red eyes to help her change. 𝗓𝗓 turned to look with an oh wow while Izuku was busy feeding a blushing Aries. Izuku, are you jealous of Virgo? Aries, no. Izuku chuckled and wrapped his arms around Aries's waist, pulling her closer while rubbing his head into her neck, deepening her blush. 𝗔𝗂𝘁, please stop cuddling her. Izuku. Lucy finished changing and did a pose to act cute. Lucy, don't I look super cute? Guys. 𝗓𝗓, yeah, extremely. Izuku, looking good. Loose. Virgo, Aries, and 𝗔𝗂𝘁 approached in anger at Lucy, about to tear her dress out of jealousy, but stopped. Virgo, I wish you Luck husband, she said, disappearing along with Aries Lucy. Hey, I am your partner, you know. Oh right, hey, did you guys want some clothes to you, Izuku? No, we're good, Gray. Yeah, this does the trick, they said, drying their clothes using 𝗓𝗏 Lucy. He's not a dryer, you know. Suddenly the guards barged in, holding magic guns and regular swords, charging at them when suddenly they were all taken down by 𝗧𝗏, who was holding twin blades. Izuku, 𝗓𝗏, Gray, Lucy. Thank goodness you're okay, 𝗕𝗫𝗍. She's so cool. 𝗧𝗏 turned to them and gasped, 𝗧𝗏. It's you, what are you doing inside the tower, Lucy? Looking for you, 𝗕𝗫𝗍. We haven't met, my name is 𝗕𝗫𝗍 and 𝗧𝗏, go home. This place is far too dangerous. 𝗓𝗏 punched his palm with a flame fist and a glare on his face. 𝗓𝗏, don't try to scare me, I'm not going anywhere till that blockhead gets a good taste of my fist. I'm gonna make him pay for shooting me in the mouth. 𝗧𝗏, you have to go, Izuku. But why, 𝗓𝗏? Your friend's kidnapped. Happy I can't leave here till I find my little buddy 𝗧𝗏. They got him too. It must have been Emiliana. 𝗓𝗏, where can I find him? 𝗧𝗏, I'm not sure. 𝗓𝗏, this means war. Izuku, who are you declaring war against? 𝗓𝗏 then darted off. 𝗓𝗏, the JRK that kidnapped my little buddy 𝗧𝗏? Wait. 𝗓𝗏, Gray, what a moron. Izuku, damn it. 𝗓𝗏, 𝗕𝗫𝗍, poor guy. Lucy, let's go and help him. 𝗧𝗏, and oh, she shouted, raising her sword, causing them to step back. 𝗧𝗏, Miliana is a cat lover, she'd never do anything hurt him. I promise I'll bring the both back to the guild with me. 𝗧𝗏, but you four need to leave immediately. Lucy, don't be ridiculous. We can help you. 𝗧𝗏, I don't want your help, this is my problem, it doesn't involve you, she said, starting to walk away. Gray, how can you say that you saw? 𝗓𝗏, I'd say we're plenty involved. Lucy, 𝗧𝗏, what's up with this tower and who's this Jalal guy? 𝗧𝗏's voice became shaky, which no one noticed except for Izukus, who squinted his eyes. Lucy, I can understand if you don't want to tell us. You said those guys were your friends. Well, we're your friends now and we're here to help you, Lucy, and no matter what happens we're always gonna have your back. Gray, yeah, she's right. Izuku couldn't have said it better. 𝗧𝗏, leave. Izuku, that's enough. 𝗧𝗏, now tell me what the hell's the matter with you? We want to help you. 𝗧𝗏 then turned to reveal herself, crying but from only one eye and not both, shocking the group. Gray and Izuku stepped back with a blush as 𝗧𝗏 began to speak. 𝗧𝗏, I'm sorry, but you can't help me. From the moment I set foot in here my fate was sealed. Win or lose this battle I'm staring death in the face. Gray, what do you mean by that? 𝗧𝗏, there's no point in fighting what's inevitable. I can't, but what I can do is share my story with you while I'm still here. This building is the Tower of Heaven. It had also called the 𝗧𝗏 system. Over several years ago a cult had begun construction of this place, a place that will bring the dead back to life. The spell required multiple human sacrifices, so the cult abducted people to use them as slaves. I know this because I was one of them. Everyone, gasped 𝗧𝗏. Here there was no peace of mind, we were always living in fear, but we bonded and made friends that even though we knew wouldn't be together long. One of my friends in the tower was a boy named Jalal, and the other was named I. He was the one person I ever truly loved. Flashback, the same small red-haired girl Izuku saw was cuffed around a pillar in a room where a massive gem was stored. Fighting noises could be heard in the background as the boy Jalal screamed her name. Jalal. 𝗧𝗏. Jalal had ran into the room with a massive sword in his arm which he stuck to the ground as she whimpered, Jalal, hold on, don't worry, I'll get you out of here. He laid 𝗧𝗏 down, but when he saw her eye he lost it and screamed out no for all to hear. He then carried her out the room until magic guards appeared in front of them and stopped the two. Meanwhile in a cell room, show, I hope sister's gonna be alright. Simon, hey, you're always put through punishment, do you think she'll come back? I was the same boy whom Izuku saw in his vision. 𝗧𝗏 is very strong, there is no need to worry, I just wish I could go get her, but because of how much magic and torture they took and put me through I can't even move. 𝗧𝗏 is very strong, there is no need to worry, I just wish I could go get her, but because of how much magic and torture they took and put me through I can't even move. I himself was in a small cell behind the wall in which the kids were in front of. He was chained to the wall with very little light, the only source of air was a small vent which he talked to the kids through. Guard came and threw 𝗧𝗏 inside, and her brother and sisters, or rather the children she lived with, called out to her, but the girl was devastated. They had taken Jalal. Show, I can't take it anymore. Guard, quite crying. Kid Izuku, it'll be alright. Show. Guard, shut it. Show, leave me alone. Suddenly Jalal's words echoed through 𝗧𝗏's mind, we have to fight, and her eyes widened. Simon, what are you doing? Suddenly 𝗧𝗏 took a shovel and smashed the guard with it, sending him and two other soldiers out the cell. Guard, mutiny, he shouted with a cracked mask and one lost tooth. Simon, what's gotten into you? 𝗧𝗏, find a weapon, we can't escape and they won't set us free, so to escape we'll need to fight. For our lives, for our freedom, every SLV cheered and began to rebel, taking down guard after guard. Meanwhile, I sat looking at the wall in front of him with a tired smile as a green fire emerged from his eyes and a flashback. 𝗧𝗏. So we took a stand for our freedom, we took a stand to save our dear friend 𝗓𝗏, but little did we know something changed with him. His entire personality could only be explained as pure unadulterated evil. Flashback: while 𝗓𝗏 was getting tortured but didn't say a word, something came to him and began to change him. It was supposedly their god 𝗧𝗏 through his hatred. Meanwhile, outside everyone was stitching up the wounded and helping others. 𝗧𝗏. Come on, we need to set everyone in Sector 8 free. We can. Oh, it's 𝗧𝗵𝗲. No, we can't, we could never beat that many guards. 𝗧𝗏. We have to, that's the only way we will be able to save 𝗓𝗏. Wally suddenly came to 𝗧𝗵𝗲 and began to tell him that 𝗧𝗏 had a thing for 𝗓𝗏. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Hey 𝗧𝗏, you don't have it. Crush on 𝗓𝗏, do you? 𝗧𝗏 gasped in shock at his question before looking at I, who was listening in on their talk while sitting against a rock with a girl whom had white hair and some strange feathers on her, sitting on his lap asleep. 𝗧𝗏 blushed and continued. 𝗧𝗏. No, never, and why would you ask me that? She asked, hoping to God that I didn't think she liked anyone else. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Sorry, but I just wanted to make sure, because suddenly an explosion came, sending 𝗧𝗵𝗲 flying with a broken jaw and 𝗧𝗏, who defended herself with a shield walkie. Where did that come from? 𝗵𝗏𝗏. Look up their show, Magic Soldiers. Suddenly a fleer of magic soldiers arrived and began sending attacks at everyone, causing them to run except for 𝗧𝗏, who pleaded for them to fight with her until one pushed her onto the ground. Suddenly the fleet aimed at her. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Watch out, the magic soldiers fired, however something sent them flying back at the soldiers, causing a giant explosion. The magic soldiers fired. However, something sent them flying back at the soldiers, causing a giant explosion. 𝗧𝗏. Gasp I. My magic may not be as strong as it once was, but I will never hurt another person ever again. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Whoa, did you see that? 𝗵𝗏𝗏. Yes, show. He reflected their magic back. I coughed out BLD and fell to the ground as 𝗧𝗏 came to him. 𝗧𝗏. Are you alright? I. Yes, I may be some kid, but deep down I've still got a lot of fight in me. I placed his hand on 𝗧𝗏's cheek and began to caress it. I. As a wizard, my magic has always been intertwined with my magic, but the true source of my power, 𝗧𝗏, was you. Izuku got up, holding his sword ready to battle. It was a large silver blade that looked like a wing, but the handle was like that of a rapier, and a large green crystal was embedded inside of it. Suddenly the memories of her and I began to replay in 𝗧𝗏's mind, all the times he made her smile with his grandpa Rob, and other times when she would be embarrassed after he'd flirt with her. 𝗧𝗏. Hey, do you promise to always love me and make me your wife in the future? I. He sure. 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗵𝗏. What? How could you? 𝗧𝗵𝗏 began to punch the wall to hit I, as everyone laughed at the two. After that, memory fled her mind. I was seen standing in front of 𝗧𝗏 holding his sword in a battle stance. I. Your appealing smile and that promise we made were the only thing keeping me sane in this horrid plague after Grandpa Rob died. 𝗧𝗏. You're hurt, aren't you? I. Remember this. Your freedom lies within your heart. 𝗧𝗏. Suddenly the magic soldiers began to fire hundreds upon hundreds of attacks at I, who didn't budge as the tears of BLD ran down his face. I. Remember this. Follow your heart and your dreams of being a wizard will come true. I turned to 𝗧𝗏 with a smile and tears on his face. I love you, 𝗧𝗏, and with that he was destroyed by their attacks, and his one appealing sword which brightened the darkness fell to the ground smoking, and with that he was destroyed by their attacks, and his one appealing sword which brightened the darkness fell to the ground smoking. I. Goodbye, 𝗧𝗏. And like that I watched the man I love die. Little 𝗧𝗏 stared at the sword in the ground with tears streaming down her face before she screamed, releasing pure magic energy in a crimson circle. All the tools were lifted and thrown at the guards and soldiers, taking them all down. 𝗓𝗏. You knew, didn't you? You always knew, and I love you too. Using that power, 𝗧𝗏 went after 𝗓𝗏, only to find that he changed and threw her out the tower, threatening her that if she ever came back he'd kill all her friends. But what hurt her the most was leaving the sword of her love in that place. End of flashback. Izuku. Is that why you were always so kind to me even when you didn't know me? Because 𝗧𝗏. Yes, because you looked like I. Tears fell from 𝗧𝗏's eye as he bangs covered her left eye. 𝗧𝗏. I have to fight 𝗓𝗏. I have no choice. I have to do it. The group could only show sympathy for 𝗧𝗏, who was still broken from watching I die. The group began to discuss the wicked sorcerer that 𝗓𝗏 wanted to revive 𝗧𝗏, whom created the demons that caused so much mass destruction, and how 𝗧𝗏 would take them to heaven, then remake the world and them its rulers. Lucy. Hey, wait a minute, why do they think that you betrayed them? Don't they know 𝗓𝗏 is the bad guy? 𝗧𝗏. It isn't their fault. I'm sure 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗏 fed them all sorts of lies when I left, but that doesn't change the fact that I left them so long ago. In the end you could say I did betray them, Lucy, because he threatened to kill them. If you ever came back you couldn't have saved them. 𝗧𝗏. None of that matters anymore. I will defeat 𝗔𝗨. Leave it to me, okay? Little did they know that Gray and Izuku could both feel that she was hiding something. 𝗓 suddenly came forward, angry and believing 𝗧𝗏 was lying to them. 𝗓. Sister, that's not true. Why are you lying to them? 𝗧𝗏. 𝗓. You think by making yourself the martyr you're gonna get sympathy from your friends. Tell them the truth. That's not what happened, and you know it. You blew up the ships and left on your own. We would have ended up at the bottom of the sea if it wasn't for 𝗔𝗨. He saved us. He warned us not to trust wizards like you who didn't know how to control their powers. Gray, did you ever think that he may be lying to you? Lucy, if you truly knew 𝗧𝗏, then you'd know she'd never do something so horrible. 𝗓 took a step back, shocked. With tears in his eye he spoke. You only think you know her. You weren't there back then. After you left, 𝗔𝗨's words were my only salvation. And that's why I spent all these years to finish the tower. It's all been for him. You're meaning to tell me that everything he told us was a lie, that he was using us this whole time? Plus Simon. That's right. The group turned to see Simon behind 𝗓, and as someone spoke to the group, Izuku zoned out from a voice telling him, go to the center of the tower. Simon and 𝗧𝗏 had finished their reunion, and with that the group left in hopes of finding and defeating 𝗔𝗨. The group had run up the tower from the stairs. 𝗓 had seemed distant from the rest as they continued their way up. Simon couldn't contact his friends, which caused some distress, but nonetheless, they made it to the center of the building. There they found 𝗔𝗨 speaking to them through the microphone, and he admitted to wanting to use 𝗧𝗏 as a sacrifice to resurrect 𝗧𝗏. What made the matters worse was 𝗓, who trapped 𝗧𝗏 in a card and made a run for it with Simon chasing after him. Izuku. In it. Okay, Gray, go for Simon. Gray. What? But Izuku. Do it. I get the feeling he'll need your help. Gray. Fine. Gray left to help Simon. Izuku. Lucy, 𝗔𝗑𝗏, I want you two to go together. See if you can find something to escape through in case needed with the 𝗎𝗏𝗏 blast coming and all. 𝗔𝗑𝗏, but I don't want to work with her or leave you, my darling Izuku. Izuku. Thank you for the worry, 𝗔𝗑𝗏, but please, I need you to do this for me, he asked with desperation in his voice, to which she accepted in a flash. Izuku. Great. Oh, and Lucy, take Aries with you. She's very strong. Lucy. All right, thanks, Izuku. Izuku nodded as the two left, which allowed him to walk through the right door and entered a room where he found the sword of ice stuck inside a boulder with chains wrapped around it, connected from the sword to the roof so nothing could touch it. He waked to the blade in attempts to grab, but something stopped him, or rather a blade did. Izuku. What? The in front of Izuku was Spinner. I see you were also transported to this strange world. Midoriya. Spinner. I see. You were also transported to this strange world. Midoriya. 𝗧𝗏𝗏. Spinner, I need you to get out of my way. Spinner. I'm sorry. Despite Stain's judgment of you, I am not in our homeworld, and in the name of justice I must kill you now. Die. One. Spinner charged at Izuku, swinging his sword down only for Izuku to vanish and reappear, shattering Spinner's sword. Spinner charged at Izuku, swinging his sword down only for Izuku to vanish and reappear, shattering Spinner's sword. One and then twist midair. Izuku. One for all. 20% smash. Spinner was smashed into the ground by Izuku, who began to walk to the sword, that is till his foot was grabbed and he was lifted, then slammed into the ground multiple times. Spinner was smashed into the ground by Izuku, who began to walk to the sword, that is till his foot was grabbed and he was lifted, then slammed into the ground multiple times. Spinner was smashed into the ground by Izuku, who began to walk to the sword, that is till his foot was grabbed and he was lifted, then slammed into the ground multiple times and then thrown into the wall. Getting up, Izuku looked over and saw Spinner, but now larger, more muscular and scarier, and then thrown into the wall. Getting up, Izuku looked over and saw Spinner, but now larger, more muscular and scarier. Spinner in a deeper voice. This is my magic reptile king. Izuku. Damn it, get out of my way. The two charged at each other. Izuku. Smash. Spinner. They both smashed their fists into the others, causing the entire floor to shake and a blue sphere of wind pressure to build up and explode. They both smashed their fists into the others, causing the entire floor to shake and a blue sphere of wind pressure to build up and explode. Izuku charged at Spinner at 30% and began to punch him extremely fast. Izuku charged at Spinner at 30% and began to punch him extremely fast. Izuku. Spinner. Enough. Spinner. Enough. Izuku laid in the ground covered in blood as Spinner began to smash him again and again. Spinner. I am a member of Trinity Raven. I will kill you. Fight to get up. Izuku. Who are you? It doesn't matter now. Stand. Izuku. I can't. It doesn't matter because a hero always wins. Do it. Save Izuku. To protect 𝗧𝗏. We must be. Izuku. True heroes Izuku, get the hell off of me. Izuku smashed Spinner in the face when lightning came out of his hand, sending the reptile sky high. When lightning came out of his hand, sending the reptile sky high. Izuku. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗲 hero Izuku jumped up and grabbed Spinner before spinning him around and smashing him into the ground Nomu style, and then landing right beside him. Izuku. I will never lose again. I will protect all that I love and care for, even at the cost of my life. Izuku. I will never lose again. I will protect all that I love and care for, even at the cost of my life. Izuku. I will never lose again. I will protect all that I love and care for, even at the cost of my life. Izuku. Because that's what it means. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗲 hero. The entire tower was made to rumble and everyone fell to the ground in fear, questioning the sudden quake which befell on them, and Spinner screamed as he flew up, Spinner blasting off again. Meanwhile, 𝗔𝗪 was left in complete shock at Izuku's strength, who stood in 100%. Izuku's skin and bones began to heal as he fell to his knees in pain, huffing and puffing before looking up at the massive hole in the wall with a large smirk. Izuku's skin and bones began to heal as he fell to his knees in pain, huffing and puffing before looking up at the massive hole in the wall with a large smirk. Izuku. I won't let you take anything from me ever again. That I promise. I will save 𝗧𝗏 and never again will anyone take her smile away. And with that, Izuku took a few steps towards the sword and held its grip, only to be covered by a bright light. Deku opened his eyes only to find himself inside an empty black space, and in front of him stood I with a smile. Hello, farther one, he said, shocking Izuku completely. Now let's take a break and see what Lucy's doing. What hell no, get lost. Izuku. What do you mean farther? I suppose you're confused. Well, okay, in our universe there are thousands if not hundreds of dimensions, and in all of them there is a hero, someone born with nothing but rises to earn a power, someone who strives to protect everyone with their life. This person, all of them, is you, children, as you are the first, or rather the reincarnation of the hero god. Izuku. Me, the hero god? What's that? Well, you see, farther, in the beginning, there was nothing, and then something began to grow in the emptiness. He was the first god, the father of the gods if you would, and he created everything, but he felt alone, so he created humans, and along with the humans, gods. Amongst those gods was the goddess of all beauty and power, who developed emotions which weren't supposed to happen, but she wasn't the only one. In fact, the god of love and bravery fell for her. They came together and had a child who grew to be more powerful than the two. The original god decided to name you another celestial being, the god of heroes, and like your parents, you found something love, but not for another celestial but for a mortal, so to be with her you decided to go to Earth. However, the original was enraged and made the hero god choose between all the universe and her. You being you decided her, but the moment you lost all your power you also transferred all your power into a single egg within one woman of every world, universe and dimension, creating us your children. You are the reincarnation and our farther one. Izuku was in complete shock but composed himself and asked a serious question. Izuku, then tell me, why are we in this world and why is it connected to me? Because before you this world had no hero, so for the universe to work properly and not come to ruin, one of your children were brought here and died. I came after him and died, so when you both our memories flowed into you. Izuku. So none of them belong to me. My emotions? Izuku asked himself, looking down, clenching his fist. Wrong, they are yours, because our emotions, everything originates from you, so my love for 𝗧𝗏 is in fact your love for her. Izuku. That's good to hear, but before anything else tell me how you lived before coming here. Well, you see, when I was born my name was 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗃 and I lived a pretty great life. I fell in love with multiple girls who felt the same, had children with them, and lived till an old age. When I died I lived with no regrets. That why I wanted to die here. I wanted to finally rest. Farther, I beg you please. But before I continue, Izuku hugged him tightly with a smile. Izuku, I'm so happy you got to live like that. Really I was in shock and happiness before hugging his farther. Farther, before I leave I just wanted to give you my power. Izuku. What do you mean? You see, farther, like you I had a similar curse, but it only affected the girls whom I loved. You see, the more I ended up pleasuring them, the more powerful I grew. Along with that power came a cost. You see, the curse only activated when one of my girls feels something or tries something against me. My power eventually grew to the point that it rivaled that of a god and a demon king. However, due to my death, that power has shifted, taking its own form instead of residing in my sword, and now it's in your body. So you have power above 100%, but it only comes when you give everything you have and push your body to its maximum limit. Izuku, that's so cool, thanks, 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗃. No problem, Dad. Also, I've healed your body and stamina and given you 10 minutes to use one for all at 100%, and now all my memories are in you, so you'll finally understand everything. Izuku? I understand, thank you and goodbye. Basara hugged Izuku before disappearing, causing Izuku to wake up with the sword in hand. Reality. Izuku? Coming 𝐒𝐻𝑗. With that, Izuku ran to 𝐒𝐻𝑗 while the sword disappeared, turning into a green glass-like matter, and then nothing. Izuku got further and further down the hallway before stopping and then shacking Izuku. What is this? I feel like there are some crazy chick and water involved. I don't know why, but I am sorry, he said, going down on his knees pleading forgiveness. For some reason, he could hear Lucy and Juvia scream sorry as well to the same thing that saved them. If you don't understand, he's scared of Aquarius. Let's just say they met once, and oh god, is he afraid too. Izuku? No time. So picking himself up, Izuku continues to run. He got outside the tower to find stairs leading to the top, so taking them he sprinted up and found Simon and Natsu on the way. Izuku, what happened? You two look like CRP. Simon, well, we battled a member of Trinity Raven. He was beaten by Gray and then the entire building began to shake. Do you know why? Izuku, oh yeah, sorry, I kinda smashed a guy through the tower causing the shake. Natsu, what, that was you? Happy? You're the coolest. Izuku, he chuckled while rubbing the back of his head. Izuku, up these stairs. I'm guessing 𝗓𝗏 and 𝗔𝗏 are fighting. Simon, yes. Izuku, so hold on, I'm guessing Natsu is gonna be the one to defeat 𝗔𝗏. Simon, yes. Natsu, you bet. Izuku, no, I am. The two looked at Izuku in shock, but he was completely serious. Simon enraged slammed Izuku into the wall. Simon, what's the matter with you? You claimed to be 𝗓𝗏's friend, but you refused to let anyone help her. Izuku, yes. Simon, why? Izuku grabbed his wrist and looked at Simon in the eye. When Simon finally understood Izuku's reasoning, Simon, you couldn't be him. Izuku, hey little bro. Simon felt tears drip down his face. Izuku, was I this whole time? Simon, Izuku, I beg you, save 𝗓𝗏. Izuku, of course. And Natsu was angry and about to scream when Izuku called his name. Izuku, protect our friends for me. Natsu was about to argue but instead nodded. He knew Izuku had his reason, he could smell it. Izuku, now go to the others, do you hear me? Go now. The two ran away. They knew that Izuku would most likely not come back. Continuing his way up, Izuku stopped when the bright blue light of 𝗓𝗏 came down on him and the tower, but instead of destruction what stood was a diamond tower instead of the metal tower of heaven. Izuku, damn it, I am coming. 𝗓𝗏 was about to be eaten by the 𝗓𝗏 crystal with tears in her eyes when she was pulled out by our main man Izuku. Midoriya 𝗕𝗏. Izuku, I got you. 𝗓𝗏, ha. Izuku, 𝗓𝗏 is very important to me, I won't let you touch her. 𝗔𝗏 looked at Izuku questionably. Izuku sat on the ground with 𝗓𝗏's head laying on his lap. Izuku, man, what are you doing hanging out with this loser? If you don't hurry up and come back, I think Miris gonna really lose it. Believe me, you don't want her to be angry, otherwise I think I'd die. Izuku said as he shivered a bit. 𝗓𝗏, sorry, but I can't move. Izuku, oh no. A mischievous idea came to mind as Izuku began to tickle 𝗓𝗏 and laugh at her, giggling from him. Izuku, that what you get for always frowning. 𝗓𝗏, this is serious. Just stop fooling around. Haha, stop it. Izuku stopped as 𝗓𝗏 turned to him with a smile that vanished and was replaced by a serious expression. 𝗓𝗏, Izuku, you gotta get out of here as fast as you can. Izuku, I'm not leaving you. If you can't do the fighting by yourself, then I'll fight for you. 𝗓𝗏, you can't, he's too strong and you don't know anything about him. Izuku, that's where you're wrong. 𝗓𝗏, Izuku looked 𝗓𝗏 in the eye and replayed everything between him and I to her, which shocked her. 𝗓𝗏, you mean? Izuku, yeah, I'm sorry for leaving you. 𝗓𝗏, I miss so much. Izuku, yeah, me too. Now then, 𝗓𝗏, please don't do this. Izuku, don't leave me again. She was about to cry as she spoke, but then Izuku, I'm sorry 𝗓𝗏, Izuku said, picking her up and then punching her in the gut, knocking her out. Shocking. 𝗔𝗏, you're even foolhardier than the rumors make you out to be. What kind of sick satisfaction do you get from striking a defenseless friend? 𝗔𝗏, you're even foolhardier than the rumors make you out to be. What kind of sick satisfaction do you get from striking a defenseless friend? Izuku, I had to do it because she was about to cry. Suddenly the wind started to generate around Izuku's fist as he spoke. Izuku, to me, 𝗓𝗏 is one of the most incredible people I have ever met. She's appealing, strong, smart, rash, kind, and generous. She's a loyal person who isn't afraid to give everything to her friends. I promised myself to protect her. Smile, I want her to wake up after this nightmare is finished so she can finally be happy, and so for that to happen I will take you down. 𝗔𝗏, oh, is that a challenge? Consider my interest piqued. I would love to witness the power of a hero. 𝗔𝗏, oh, is that a challenge? Consider my interest piqued. I would love to witness the power of a hero. Izuku, gra smash. 𝗔𝐬𝐽 dodged the kick, but the wind pressure sent him flying only for him to land on his feet and skid on the ground till he stopped when Izuku appeared above him. 𝗔𝐬𝐽 dodged the kick, but the wind pressure sent him flying only for him to land on his feet and skid on the ground till he stopped when Izuku appeared above him. Izuku, 𝐕𝗲𝗄𝐻 smash. 𝗔𝐬𝐽 was smashed in the ground, but the impact was so strong that it made him bounce back up, to which Izuku rebound of the air. 𝗔𝐬𝐽 was smashed in the ground, but the impact was so strong that it made him bounce back up, to which Izuku rebound of the air. 𝗔𝐬𝐽 was smashed in the ground, but the impact was so strong that it made him bounce back up, to which Izuku rebound of the air and kick him back into the ground, destroying it. Deku backflipped to the front of 𝐒𝐻𝑗 and looked towards 𝗔𝐬𝐽, who seemed to get up with no problem, shocking him completely. 𝗔𝐬𝐽, I expected more from you. Izuku Midoriya, son of Hisashi, or rather the first hero. Hisashi Midori equals Ya is the first hero, or rather the first man to be called a true hero. Basically he's like Gilgamesh but can do other things like fire breathing. He is very powerful. 𝗔𝐽, I was hoping to witness the pure power of a hero before ripping you to shreds with my bare hands, but if that's all you got then I won't waste my time. Izuku, I'll show you, he shouted before charging at 𝗔𝐽 at full speed. 𝗔𝐽, you must be punished for interrupting the ceremony. Prepare to be destroyed by my heavenly body magic. 𝗔𝐽 began to fly and smash into Izuku, causing the boy to miss his attacks and get wounded. Not even one for all stood a chance. 𝗔𝐽 began to fly and smash into Izuku, causing the boy to miss his attacks and get wounded. Not even one for all stood a chance. Izuku, I won't lose to you. Izukus shot up at 𝗔𝐽 and began to increase his power 110%, 140%, 200%. Izuku, 𝗔𝐽, Izuku, take this. Izuku, take this. Izuku, take this. However, before Izuku could take a breath, 𝗔𝐽 grabbed his foot and threw him down to the ground. However, before Izuku could take a breath, 𝗔𝐽 grabbed his foot and threw him down to the ground. Izuku coughed out BLD as he laid on the ground bleeding and bruised. 𝗔𝐽, and now face the true power of darkness magic 7-star sword grand chariot. 𝗔𝐽, and now face the true power of darkness magic 7-star sword grand chariot. Izuku, the 𝗔𝐽 came down to Izuku, who was lying on his face, completely taken down. His arms and legs were mangled and bleeding. 𝗔𝐽, that spell packs as much punch as a fallen meteor. I'm surprised he's in one piece but not completely fine. I suppose that was a little much better. Stop now, though the R system can't take any more damage, since any more would cause it to be useless. I can feel the magic just draining out already. I'll have to hurry, it's time. 𝗧𝗏, suddenly stones were thrown at 𝗔𝐽, small pebbles to be exact, causing him to turn to Izukus, whose arms and legs were now fixed and not destroyed, but his skin was still purple, pushing himself off the ground. Izuku, feel that was my sneak attack. Now that this tower's one giant crystal, I guess destroying it would screw up your plans. Izuku said with a smirk and earning a gasp from 𝗔𝐽. Izuku, this is not your day, buddy. He finished before smashing his first into the ground, causing cracks to appear everywhere. 𝗔𝐽, what are you doing? Izuku, how don't you know fairy tale wizards are known for destroying things? I think it's time I start joining the family. Izuku, how don't you know fairy tale wizards are known for destroying things? I think it's time I start joining the family. Izuku, I won't let you touch your Izuku, I won't let you touch your 𝗔𝐽. You won't get in my way. This will be the end of you. I've dreamed of this day and I won't let a wannabe hero spoil it for me. Izuku, sorry man, but I'm a pretty tough kid. If you think you can touch me, then come get me. 𝗔𝐽 gradually fired several beams of light at Izuku, who simply dodged them all. Izuku, too slow, he jumped into the air, saw 𝗔𝐽 and charged. Izuku, I got you, know about to punch. Izuku reeled his fist back and dived at the blue-haired bee, only for 𝗔𝐽 to send Izuku packing with a yellow surge of power like lightning. The attack sent Izuku smashing into a wall and grunting in pain. The explosion sound and vibrations woke up 𝗧𝗏. Izuku charged back at 𝗔𝐽 with a smile. Izuku, what's so scared for your tower that you won't give it your all? That won't work against me. 𝗔𝐽 got even more pissed and sent a yellow burst at Izuku, which caused the boy to backflip and land on his feet. Izuku, 𝗬𝗏 smash. The tower began to shatter more and more than before from that one attack. Some smoke and shards could be seen falling outside as well, angering 𝗔𝐽 even more. The tower began to shatter more and more than before from that one attack. Some smoke and shards could be seen falling outside as well, angering 𝗔𝐽 even more. 𝗧𝗏 thoughts, he's aiming for the tower. Izuku looked up with a smirk as 𝗔𝐽 shook in anger. 𝗔𝐽, now I'm angry. I didn't spend years building this tower just for some punk to come to tear it down. I won't let you. Izuku was huffing and puffed, his arms completely black and red now as he spoke. Izuku, Tough break pal, I told you fairy tales are famous for breaking things. 𝗧𝗏 thoughts. Careful Izuku, you're weak, you barely have the strength to stand 𝗔𝗨. I'll make you pay. He shouted before raising his hands in a cross position when a gust of wind came pushing Izuku and 𝗧𝗏 back. 𝗧𝗏, gasped Izuku. Whoa, something weird going on with this magic, it's making me feel sick. 𝗧𝗏 thoughts. Why is my shadow bending towards the light? 𝗧𝗏, that spell, it could kill Izuku 𝗔𝗨, and now I'll plunge you into infinite darkness. Hero King 𝗧𝗏. Don't do it, otherwise you'll kill me too, she shouted before going in front of Izuku to protect him. 𝗧𝗏, you wouldn't want to lose your sacrifice, would you 𝗔𝗨? True, that would be unpleasant. The sacrifice requires a wizard comparable strength to the 10 wizard saints, but I can't find another. I'll worry about that after I kill both of you. Izuku, watch out, what are you doing? 𝗧𝗏, it's my fault you're in this mess. Izuku, this time I will protect you. Izuku, get out of the way. 𝗔𝗨, heavenly body magic 𝗓𝐼ris. 𝗔𝗨, heavenly body magic 𝗓𝐼ris. Izuku. 𝗧𝗏, but someone stopped the attack and protected them. It was Simon, and then there was an explosion causing the top to blow up. Izuku, it's you. Ezra's memories of I dying in the past came back to her mind. 𝗧𝗏, why Simon? Simon, to save you. 𝗧𝗏, Simon. She ran to Simon and held him as he lay dying. Izuku thoughts. No, not again. 𝗧𝗏, why didn't you escape with the others? Why? Simon, talk to me. Simon, don't cry, it's okay, I'm happy to give my life for you. Cough, 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 cough. Simon, you were the only person who made me smile. 𝗧𝗏, don't die on me. Simon looked at 𝗧𝗏 only to see her as a little girl again with a smile. Little 𝗧𝗏, Simon. 𝗧𝗏, Simon. Simon began to cry as he thought his last words. I've always loved you. 𝗧𝗏 broke down crying, screaming Simon to wake the boy up, only he never did, and Izuku could only stare in despair. 𝗧𝗏, and 𝗔𝗨, ha ha, what a perfectly foolish thing to do. He tried to play the hero, but his death won't change a thing. Simon gave his own life to save yours, but he should have known. I'm not letting either of you leave this tower alive. Izuku, shut the hell up. Izuku, shut the hell up. 𝗔𝗨, Izuku smashed his hand into the ground and began to absorb the ether ion energy and finally completed one for all. 𝗔𝗨, I can't believe this, he's absorbing the ether energy. Izuku, roar. Izuku, 𝐒𝐩𝐬𝐽. Izuku's body began to absorb too much ether, causing him to have a seizure and hold his head, screaming in pain. 𝗧𝗏, how can you be so foolish? Your body will absorb the etherian energy and destroy itself from too much of 𝗓𝗏. If he kills himself, it'll certainly make my life much easier. How? Instead of drying, Izuku's body began to give off a silver aura which burst. His back was facing 𝗔𝗨, and when he turned to look at him, Izuku's glare scared the blue-haired fool. His back was facing 𝗔𝗨, and when he turned to look at him, Izuku's glare scared the blue-haired fool. His back was facing 𝗔𝗨, and when he turned to look at him, Izuku's glare scared the blue-haired fool. 𝗔𝗨 shook a little from the bloodlust, full anger coming from the boy, who then burst into lightning and then came out in the second form of the full lightning cowling. 𝗔𝗨 shook a little from the bloodlust, full anger coming from the boy, who then burst into lightning and then came out in the second form of the full lightning cowling. Now the real fight begins.